All right, all right, all right. Get everything rolling. What's up, everybody? Let me turn this down. Everything is rolling. I hope I sound fantastic. That's what I'm shooting for. This week is sounding just oh so well. I don't know what it is. I've been coughing up my guts, just a whole bunch of mucus and crap like that. You know, it's just there's something going around, and we just had the big giant winter storm here and everything, locked up for a day, but back up and about, so that's always good. And we hope that you're good out there and everything is hanging in good with you as well. So hope you guys are hanging in there, and hope you can hang out for this evening because we've got a lot of fun stuff to do, as we do every Tuesday, or damn near every Tuesday, as much as I try to. We go to movie TikTok. That's right. We go. As I'm scrolling throughout the week, I watch TikToks, and as I see one that I find out is movie related, I stop watching it as soon as I possibly can. I save it to the old phone there. At the end of the week, I put them all together and put in a little presentation for you boys and girls, and we all watch and react to them live. And that's what we're doing here tonight, and we hope you can continue on with that. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you're on the mobile, swipe over, hit that hype button. The hype button is always a good thing, and nobody talks about the hype button because no one knows the damn thing exists. So go ahead and hit that button if you can. We really appreciate it, and thank you for all the likes, comments, subscribes, and if you got any, why don't you drop one? Fortress Bucks, aka your super chat. If you got one of those, we'll always appreciate you and love you and sing your praises up and down, left and right. You know how it be. So like I said, I don't know if you guys, let me, oh shucks, I didn't export it. I have started working on the art for next week, next month, as it were, for H&P and everything, where we're doing Tom Hanks romantic comedies. And there's going to be a theme throughout all of the art and everything. I think you'll very easily catch on to it. Sean will, because it's going to be, I don't want to say mocking him. That's not necessarily true. It's actually his lady that it's kind of, I don't want to say it's even mocking. It's just kind of making a joke of a joke. So we'll see all that, but check all that out. Sundays streaming on this here channel as well, 8 p.m. Eastern every Sunday. So go check that out. Tom Hanks rom-coms are coming up. So we're doing good there. What in the sweet hell? I always love when some of the chats come up and you're like, what's even happening here? But hey, I'll take a chat any way you can slice it, I suppose. And again, speaking of slices, I want to take a big old slice of my time here and say thank you to everybody that supports this here podcast over at patreon.com/HMP. Those awesome people get pre-show, post-show, dinger zone, and a special spot in my heart. Because you guys are awesome, and just a nice thing that you do. You just say, hey, this show is worth this to me. You put it in a dollar form and you send it our way, and you get extra stuff, even if that's $1 on up. And we got everybody, and it's in all kinds of points. Whatever this show is worth to you. If you wanted to continue to show up on Monday morning, what would you throw in? And I'm sorry, by the way, speaking of showing up on Monday morning and things not actually being there. Dinger Zone, I had everything there. I just literally did not hit the publish button on the Patreon. Everything was up there. So mea culpa. I'm so sorry. But thank you to all the Patreon people. Half of you is probably in this chat as we speak. All right, so as bad as my voice here is and everything, I wanted to still put together a program for you, a program for your enjoyment and pleasure. And hopefully that's what we've got here this evening. And let's get it rocking and rolling. Pull up all my stuff appropriately. Add this to the thing.
You want to spice up family movie?
Hold on. Give me a second. I got to have all my graphics and my overlays and all this garbage. Because if you don't have the garbage, you don't look like you're a professional. And I certainly don't sound like I'm a professional, so I need to at least look like a professional to a degree or another, or as much as the limited ability of the StreamYard interface will allow me to be. Thanks, StreamYard. You know, I pay for it, so, All right, let's get into it. Our first one, you saw a little sneak peeky there. That is our good buddy, Christian Hanna over at CHH, a Planet CHH over there on the YouTube and everything. And we're going to start and end this program with our good buddy today. So let's see what Christian's got for us. Let's go.
You want to spice up family movie night? Shock them with this one. A house that Jack built.
I'm going to say don't see that with your family. I'm going to say, like, unless your family's the Manson family, perhaps you shouldn't see this movie with your family and everything because there's some disturbing things that happen into it. And by the way, Matt Dillon, great performance in this and everything. And as has been the case in a lot of Lars von Trier films as of late, Uma Thurman shows up for one scene, absolutely destroys, and then leaves the film and then is just gone. She's got another one of those in this film as well, where it's just like, is Uma Thurman given one of the best performances of her career? And she does that a lot in these Von Trier films. She's in there for what was it called? Nymphomaniac. She was in that for a hot second. Tremendous scene, and then just gone.
If they don't know who Lars von Trier is, you're going to rock their socks with this one. This movie has some of the most elaborate, disturbing death sequences I've ever seen. There's a hunting scene in this movie that's either the funniest thing of all time or the most disturbing. I'm not sure which.
Yeah, and as I saw this film in a packed theater with a crowd here and everything, at an art house theater no less, you could tell the audience was split during that scene because it was a little bit funny, but it was also quite tragic at the same time. So you could fall and die in their camp.
I think that's the point of a Lars von Trier film. But this movie's great. Definitely watch the unrated director's cut. Don't whip out. You got to watch this version. But don't say anything about it. Just put it on and then watch their reaction.
Yeah. You need to watch that first if you haven't, and you want to play that around mixed company. Unless you like, stirring the pot and making a little bit of crazy mac and cheese there. I don't know that that's the smartest idea, but you do you. You do you. But if you do that, please report back. Report back and let us know what you're doing and how that went for you. My guess is stellar.
What's a great scene in a movie that does not advance the plot at all? Notice.
Okay. Interesting one for the chat here. A great scene in a movie that in no way furthers the plot along, which is obviously what you don't want, in a supposed good movie, is a scene that doesn't go anywhere, doesn't do anything. You want everything that comes out of the characters' mouths or the reactions that they do to be a thing that furthers on the story, but then, or, and then they did this and then they did that kind of thing. So, it's a good question. I needed to mull over this one.
I've seen a trend in this series that a lot of these are music sequences. In That Thing You Do, we don't need the Dance With Me Tonight scene. In fact, there's a moment right at the end of this sequence where it cuts to a close-up of their manager, played by Tom Hanks, and he's mouthing the words to the band, "That thing you do." So the scene that has clearly been cut here is them performing the song, "That Thing You Do." The song "Dance With Me Tonight" isn't mentioned in any other moment of the movie. It's never brought up again after this moment. And yet it is such a comfort scene to me and so many people who love this movie. And I think that's because it's the moment in the movie when we see the Wonders having the most fun. They're smiling, they're dancing around the stage. You've got this moment where Lenny's doing this guitar solo. It has these cutaways throughout the scene of Faye, played by Liv Tyler, Goddess Among Us.
Amen to that. Amen to that. There's zero arguments there. There is that, not to say that she's not beautiful now, but there's just this large segment of like, this may be just the hottest woman on the face of planet Earth. Still, I'm not kicking her out of bed today, but my word. And to think Steven Tyler's, 50% of that. Fucking go figure, right?
Smiling at them and swaying her head to it. There's this moment in this scene, right? Kind of at the tail end of the bridge, right as they kick into the final chorus of the song.
Oh, that's a good one there. Alex says, all the Harrison Ford Indiana Jones. Very much correct. Something a lot of people have said over the years is that, obviously, if you take Indy out of Raiders of the Lost Ark, everything still happens. They still steal the Ark. They still open it up. They still get melted down. So, eventually you essentially you could just be like, hey, you guys don't really need to be here. So, and I think you can do that with the other films. I haven't done the research.
Mr. White, their manager, just feeling it. Dance With Me Tonight, a better song than That Thing You Do.
I disagree. I agree with what this feels like in the movie, but come on, dude. It was literally made into a radio hit. This song from a movie, from a made up band, with a song written by, what was he, probably 47-year-old Tom Hanks at the time. And it got on the radio. And how much money did Tom Hanks make on that record? How much you figure? Got to be huge. Got to be huge. I mean, not Toy Story huge, mind you, but huge enough.
I said what I said.
There was a Horton Hears a Who thing in there somewhere, I'm sure.
So this is a scene from Predator, when not many people know this, but I had diarrhea during this scene. I put my arm around him, and as I put my arm around, I farted, and the little Hershey squirt came out.
Oh, it happened.
I did not tell the director, or I did not tell Carl Weathers, because he would think that I was a diva. And this is when he drinks all his shit up in the air. It looks very inappropriate, like he enjoys doing that. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that. But let me look at that. This is disgusting. This is so funny.
Hey, listen, man, don't give Arnie a couple of steins there and let him go with the DVD commentary. Maybe not the smartest of plans, you know? All company secrets getting out, as it were.
The 90s were the era of the movie host. On TBS, Dinner and a Movie paired films with Paul Gilmartin and Annabelle Gurwitch.
Man, wasn't that a good show? That was a good one. I like Dinner and a Movie. They had some good banter, these two back and forth. You know, the dinners were always kind of interesting enough. I don't think any of us would have ever cooked any of those. I'm not saying that I want to do a show like this per se, but I'm thinking of just because the damn popcorn video is the thing that, you know, this channel is still kind of known for, more or less. I'm thinking of doing kind of a combination of like, here's a meal and here's a movie and stuff, and I, you know, kind of cook the meal and talk about the movie as I'm doing it or whatever. That's a thought I've had. It's cooking shit on the internet is way more of a task than one might suspect.
Cooking themed recipes like the Breakfast Club
especially if you're doing it by yourself.
Sandwich. Jokes flew, movies got roasted, and basic cable felt like a weekly hangout. Fridays were chaos with Gilbert Gottfried on USA Up All Night.
Welcome back to USA Up All Night. I'm Gilbert Gottfried, and I'm about to show you a movie that we paid $2.50 for. It's a piece of crap. No one likes it. They think it's dumb. But here's the thing. It's got Judge Reinhold in it, and we're going to show it to you right now with so much commercial interruptions that you'll forget what the plot of the movie was even about to begin with.
Loud and endlessly sarcastic, he tore through every B-movie USA could throw at him. Saturdays brought Rhonda Shear, campy, charismatic, and undeniably sexy, hosting a mix of late-night cult and B-movies. After midnight, USA Network was the place to be. Joe Bob...
That's what they always been saying. USA is the place to be after dark.
Briggs on TNT's Monster Vision was a horror historian in a...
Gotta love some Monster Vision, everybody. And of course, The Last Drive-In still rocking today after so many years. Awesome.
Lawn chair. Counting every body part and explosion, he treated low-budget slashers like high art. Fans stayed up past 3 a.m. just to catch his trivia and drive-in totals. Then there was Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh, you know where I'm at, boys and girls. That is Adam's numero uno. I could go in and get you, show you one of my the t-shirt that I got from the what you call it there, this Kickstarter event and everything. I got like a little keychain and a mug and all that shit. I still get emails to this day saying Kickstarter update. It's like, this Kickstarter ended 5 years ago. What the fuck is going on here? It's great though.
On Comedy Central. Joel or Mike and two robots made the worst movies hilarious, riffing on every scene. Their silhouettes at the bottom of the screen became a signature of the decade, turning...
And really kind of also kind of became my personality in a lot of ways. I would sit in, like in film school, I would kind of sit in the back of class, essentially MST3King the entire class of just like whatever I thought was funny and just trying to make the people in the back row and a couple in front of me, just trying to make people laugh. Ultimately, that was just my goal, is just like interrupt and make some ha-has and stuff like that. But, you know, you don't really much know any better. And then I had this teacher, he was like, hey, stop. Or I forget what the first warning was, but I was like, ooh, okay, all right. I guess I'm not allowed to act up in class a little bit. I better watch myself. But as is normal, Adam, and just like Ernest P. World, I never knew when to quit. So I did something again. I don't remember what the quip was, but somebody said something. I thought something was funny, and I said a little haha for somebody to laugh at. And they usually got a little something like that. And then he goes, "That's 2." And I was like, "Oh shit, this is not good. This is not good at all." Like, okay, I'm gonna get it together. But sure enough, old Adam couldn't leave well enough alone. I got one more quip in, and he goes, "Do you know where so and so's office is?" He filled in, the name of some administrative person, and I look and I'm like, "No." He goes, "Go up to their place." I started to get my stuff, and he goes, "No, I'm just fucking with you." He goes, "Keep it up. I like what you're doing." And I'm just like, "Why would you do this to me? Why would you put me through this situation, sir?" It was great though. He was like a guy who was like an actor and director and stuff like that. So he looked like Philip Seymour Hoffman, to be quite honest with you. But it was insane to have him just kind of look at you and just be like, didn't turn that acting thing on. It was just like, holy shit, I believe that guy.
B-movie nights into must-watch events.
Exactly. He never knew when to quit.
I own 2,400 movies. These are by far the most weird.
I don't know how many movies I own. I don't. And I haven't collected hardcore in a good long while. Poor, you know how it is. Not to say that I still don't have plenty. I mean, and several hundred for sure. Near 1,000, maybe. I probably got close to that. I don't think I have 2,000 something, maybe. I don't know. I counted. And how do you count like television series and all that kind of shit? Like, I mean, I got 9 seasons of The X-Files on Blu-ray. And 6 of those seasons on DVD.
Bizarre and strange movies that I own that I recommend. And I guarantee there's not another living soul in this app that has all these movies.
Well, I mean, the odds aren't there, but we'll see. I mean, I'm gonna tell you I don't know any of these. I'll tell you that right off the bat. I don't know any of them, but I know that I don't because I'm not esoteric like that.
First up, we have Adam Green's Aladdin, a modernist take on Aladdin that features anti-folk music, a DIY aesthetic where sets are made of paper mache and paint. Next week,
why the fuck would I want to watch that? No, thank you. I'm good.
We have F the Devil 1 and 2. If you've ever wanted a German version of Evil Dead, that is.
Why are you covering up that top half there? What's going on? What's going on there? Something dirty? Something you ought not be. Something that would get you trashed on the internet? Be careful.
Is very incoherent and just wild and off the wall.
Oh, incoherent. Always good. You want to hear that about a movie.
And cost maybe $20. This is the movie for you. Next, we have The Absence of Milk in the Mouths of the Lost. This film feels like it's going to be an absurd comedy, but turns into a surreal drama. Features very limited dialogue, a film that has industrial noise to make an aggressive soundscape, and really,
oh boy, I'm David Lynch Jr. Check me out.
Captures that feeling of being lost, of grieving after losing your daughter. Hundreds of Beavers. People know this movie. It's
everybody knows that one at this point. Come on now.
By far one of the
how many times we mentioned that on HMP in the last 2 years?
Funniest movies in years. I just want to show off the fact that this cover is made of wood. Next, we have Ham on Rye, the coming-of-age comedy. This is a film that's very much off base. Again, following a group of local teens as they go to their local deli in order to form a rite of passage in order to become adults. Have to mention Tokyo Uber Blues, a documentary that I feel like not enough people talk about. This follows a Uber Eats driver as he's delivering all across Tokyo, but rather than glamorizing the lifestyle, it's a film that's critiquing late-stage capitalism through such.
Oh, sounds like a fucking blast. It's critiquing late-stage capitalism.
A searing drama based on this real man's life. It's a deeply sad film that I feel like more people need to see, especially in this world.
Yeah, go see a sad film. Make you, the times aren't enough. Go ahead and see a super depressing film. Go ahead.
That we live in. Next, we have Cleaners, a wildly unique Filipino coming-of-age anthology film that features a very unique aesthetic because the entire film was shot on a video camera before it was printed out on paper and then printed on black and white ink, and then the rest of the film was highlighted, creating this very unique feel on top of a film that captures every single feeling of being a teenager.
I do like that as kind of an idea, as something as like a new, interesting aesthetic to make a film. That is interesting, at least from a technical standpoint.
Next up is Carpet Cowboys. I'll be talking more about this very soon, but it follows basically the people who make the carpets that you see in your favorite casinos and hotels because they're all made mostly in Dalton, Georgia.
Oh, I hate to say it, but it sounds like I want to see a carpet documentary, and I kind of do because if you've ever been to like Dragon Con and the carpet at the Marriott and stuff like that, there's like a cult of people who love the carpet that was in the Marriott back in the day, and like you might, if you went today and had never been before, you'd see people walking around with these like weird patterns and stuff on, and like dressed like army men and shit, and you're like, what's going on here? Why is everyone dressed in these weird kind of super loud color, odd patterns and everything? It's like, no, that was the Marriott carpet back in the day. So I wouldn't mind seeing a carpet documentary, to be quite honest.
And this documentary about carpets turns into a documentary about a man who's trying to figure out the fact that the world that he lives in is not the same as the world they used to live into.
These motherfuckers are doing hardwood everywhere. This ain't the world my daddy promised me.
And becomes very sentimental as well as deeply funny. If you love John Wilson, he produced this. Feels very much like his TV show. Hot Spring Shark Attack. This features a bunch of sharks.
First of all, I mean, right there, all you got to do, Hot Spring Shark Attack, sold. I don't need to see the poster. I don't need to hear a description. I just know that that's a movie I want to see right off the bat.
Attacking a local hot spring. This movie knows exactly how absurd it is, and because of that, I love it because it leans into the comedy in the best way possible. Next we have the 1920s Häxan, a Swedish film that
very famous,
examines what if witches are real through docufiction. It has such a unique look and aesthetic in a film that, again, is nothing like anything else I've ever seen from the 20s. This is a relic that more people need to see. Tokyo Fist is the most outrageous sports film I've ever seen. This features men
more outrageous than Bloodsport, my friend. Oh, you silly goose.
And just punching the crap out of each other as they're trying to fight over one woman. You see walls explode, you see things explode, you see all sorts of things happen. This was made by the same director as Tetsuo the Iron Man. If you know
it's gonna be fucked up.
How wild and chaotic this film is, apply all that to boxing and you have a wild time.
Okay, listen, I'm not gonna lie, that one sounds pretty good.
This is still so underrated, by far one of the closest projects I've ever seen get to the magic of Twin Peaks. This takes place in the near future where AI has outlawed emotions, and because of that, people need to go back in time and alter the past in order to make sure that they don't have these emotions anymore. It is a wild, trippy experience that I'm doing a very poor job explaining, but you need to see. Symbiocytotoxoplasm. This is a documentary about a documentary about a documentary.
Ooh, that's like 4 levels.
There's so many layers of metafiction going on here. If you're a big fan of Nathan Fielder, you cannot talk about Nathan Fielder without talking about William Greaves and Symbiocytotoxoplasm.
First of all, that's a fucking wild name. I love that.
AJ Goes to the Dog Park. This is about a man who takes his 2 dogs to the park and
I thought that was a World War II documentary. Let me scratch that off my list. It's about a guy and his dog. Gives a shit about that. I want a fighter doc.
Things spiral way out of control. If you love absurd comedy that just keeps going and going and going, you'll love where this movie goes. And finally, I want to name one of the funniest films I've seen in years, Dad and Stepdad. This features 2 men who are trying to navigate the fact that they're raising the same son, and this son is also played by an adult, which adds to the comedy. This is outrageous. If you love Tim Robinson, you will really love this.
Okay. Interesting. Listen, I will say this. In a world where we get so many movie recommendations and stuff where those movies are the shit that everybody's seen, that was quite refreshing. So refreshing. I'm hawking my guts out. I have Häxan. Interesting. Great practical effects for the time. The WW2 movie is AJ and the Dog Faces. Oh, I heard them play with the Shrimp Shack shooters.
Kindergarten Cop is a great example of this very 90s phenomenon where just because a movie has kids in it doesn't necessarily mean it's for kids.
That is very true. The 80s really were, I mean, the 90s had some as well, but the 80s for sure were replete with movies with kids, starring kids and everything that were most assuredly not truly for kids, even though mostly kids went to go see them.
This movie is a crime drama. But it's tricky because it's wrapped in cute stuff like this. I was definitely watching it as a 5-year-old.
I don't know that I ever really watched Kindergarten Cop outside of a couple of scenes and stuff like that. It just never, I mean, it was the name Kindergarten Cop. Like even as like a 12-year-old, I was just like, Why would I want it? What? No.
Hey, stop it! Don't do that!
Don't go anywhere.
Yes, that is an addict getting handcuffed to her no longer with us boyfriend. After all the
Well, he ain't going nowhere, and it's tough to drag a dead body around. That's a lot of weight.
classroom antics,
Monsters.
we snap right back into action crime drama. Who is this for? This guy still haunts me.
It was for Arnold Schwarzenegger fans at the end of the day, and Arnold Schwarzenegger at that point had enough clout to kind of say and do whatever he wanted to do, and he did. God bless him, he did. He went and did movies like this and Twins and other shit like that outside of the regular fare that you would suspect him to do, and it worked and didn't work in some cases, depending on how you look at it.
It gets more intense than the clips I'm showing, but you get the picture. There's a big showdown in the bathroom.
Why don't you let the boy go now? He's my boy!
The ferret was the fiercest weapon of all. Did you know Angela Bassett's in this movie?
Is your wife okay?
And look at her. She doesn't look any different today. Well, how does she do it? I suggest witchcraft.
Hey, sir.
Angela Bassett, probably a witch. That's just my guess. That's my guess. How else you going to stay that immortal for that long? Or is it like, is she got is there a Dorian Gray thing kind of going on?
Every time I say how much I hate this scene from Endgame, people have something to say about it.
Well, those people are dumb, because if you got something to say about that scene, my guess is, and that people are upset about, I kind of want to hear about that.
If you liked it, congrats to you. Doesn't make you a better person than me. It was bad fan service.
Yep.
It sucked. It was hard. I didn't like it. Definition of how many women does it take to get a gauntlet across a field? Why would that empower me? Why were they all able to come together and have a book club in the middle of a fight? Go fight!
Yeah, they did be talking a whole bunch, going like, hey girl, we doing good? Yeah, we doing good? We gonna go kick some butt, yeah, let's go kick some butt. Woo, we're girl power.
I would have rather
girl boss.
seen like two of them. I would have rather had like Captain Marvel and Scarlet Witch absolutely go ballistic by themselves.
No, they need everybody, because if you don't have full representation from all the things in there, then you're a butthole and you forgot other people. And then those people are going to be upset, and they're going to write letters, and then they won't buy toys, and then they won't go to Disneyland, and then we'll be out of business. Is that what you want? Put all the broads in the movie.
Across the whole field and destroy everything in their path on a war rage. This scene came on. Like, by this point in the movie, my smile was already fading because of all the stuff they did to Thor's character. So, at this point, it just completely faded. I went... Especially because, like, Black Widow wasn't even there. They had the perfect scene in Infinity War when it was Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, and Okoye come together during the fight in Wakanda. That was beautiful. That was sick. And then people try to make me, like, feel bad, and they're like, well, think of all the young girls watching the movie now.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. I don't get it. They need to understand and realize that, like, who their audience is, what their audience is looking for, and stuff like that. And we were talking about it in the H&P, or in our text thread and everything. They just put the new trailer out, and I know the MVD's seen it, for the new Mall Shadow Warrior, or what's it called? Dark Shadows or something shit like that. Some darkened shadows going on. That trailer looked amazing. It was just like, oh, see, that's what we want. How do you guys not realize that that's what we want? They realized it over in the animated stuff, so I don't know.
Empowering that was for them.
You got to look at what your audience is and who your audience actually is. And by trying to reach an entire audience that may not necessarily like your stuff, you're going to alienate the people that are already there. And that's been Marvel and Star Wars' biggest problems, is that they've been trying to further out a fan base, and they've forgotten about the fan base that's actually there and already cares. And it's like, you can't make people that don't care as much as you try to shake them. That's not necessarily going to, win the day. You got to convince them. And that's the thing. It's not like there weren't, ladies that were fans of Star Wars or Marvel or any of that stuff. They all loved it. That was good stuff. And I mean, even before the movies and all that stuff, there's plenty of ladies that liked all that kind of stuff. It's perfectly fine. But Most of them just didn't even care. They were just like, this is a good story. I like this. As an overweight man in his 50s, I don't feel represented in Marvel. Correct. Correct, sir. You aren't. And you know what you ought to do? Class action lawsuit. And I don't know what you know. I think there's a couple of you. I ain't in that group yet.
I think that's a cute thought. I don't see anything wrong with that perspective. But I was a little girl too. A little girl in 2008 who went to...
Jesus Christ, that's a... I was a little girl in 2008. I'm like, that's when I started my second run at a news station.
See the Iron Man film. I was there when Tony Stark was in a cave with a box of scraps.
That's cute though, that like she was really kind of brought up on these films and everything. You really don't think about that as like an older person who's just kind of been like, you know, you were an adult when all these movies and everything started. For these kids, like that was like their Star Wars and everything, man.
I was the little girl who skipped out on going to school one day to go to a Thor marathon.
Good Lord, she had it bad, didn't she?
The little girl in me was mad at what I saw in Endgame, okay? That little girl, if you liked it, good for you. I really don't give like a hell, but I'm allowed to have my...
Oh my God. MVD goes, David Harbour as the Russian superhero didn't do anything for you, Alex. Alex says, I don't consider him a man. Oh, man. My God, you are correct, sir. You are correct in everything you say in this right here. It is hilarious just to see that man he's a bad person. I always kind of fucking knew from the get-go with that dude. I knew there was trouble in River City, man.
Thoughts on it too, and that's exactly what I thought.
Bunch of dumbasses. This girl's right. Good for you, girly. She was brought up well. She don't give a shit about none of that. She just wants it to be cool. Just make it cool. Why that's such a hard thing for people to figure out, I don't know.
Why don't movies look like this anymore?
Because we don't shoot them on film. He's going to go into this a little bit. This is going to be a very interesting talk here. I don't know what he's going to go into, how he's going to go into it. I will agree as necessary. If there's anything I see that feels like a glaring thing, you know that I'll chime in, but we'll see. Let's see what he's got.
That question has many answers, but one of the reasons is the Technicolor process used to film them. So what exactly is Technicolor? Technicolor is a company, but it also refers to the special process they use to shoot color films. I'm going to give you an oversimplified explanation. It started...
Please, you don't need to go into two. Like, the chemical hydrides and the fucking the silver highlight within the we carry the blue.
As a two-strip process, one that could capture red and green tones but couldn't capture blue. In the 1930s, the three-strip process was introduced. It used 3 strips of film, each capturing one primary color, red, green, or blue.
And that's why, remember when you see some films that are kind of, pre your Technicolor here with everything, with all your 3 colors and everything, that's why they look a little bit odd, a little bit off and everything, because it's like, yeah, you got that one little missing element right there. When you throw that in, it's like all of a sudden, oh, look.
Those could then be dyed and combined into one Technicolor film. Technicolor was at the forefront of bringing realistic color to the screen, and after success with Disney, the studio started to really buy in. The studios were forced to use massive Technicolor cameras that were owned by Technicolor in order to hold all of the film.
Ew, they still be doing stuff like that today, boy. You want to buy a Matthews crane? Can't do it. Can't do it. They go, you're going to be renting that from us. Oh, what's that? You need somebody to work at. Well, here's our mandatory team you got to get.
Early Technicolor had trouble with colors bleeding, and in order to manage this, they would use extremely bright lighting. Sometimes this extreme lighting would bring sets up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, they'd have these arc lights and everything that were like unbelievably bright, and that's why like you see a lot of there's a lot of those used in the spaghetti westerns and stuff like that. You're like Once Upon a Time, so you're fucking A Fistful of Dollars and all that kind of stuff. Just that's why Clint got so squinty.
And and limited the amount of shadow and contrast filmmakers could use. Technicolor also asserted power by requiring that the company's color consultant worked on every production.
What I say, what I say, what I say. It's called grifting, boys.
Natalie Kalmus, the wife of one of Technicolor's creators, is credited as the color consultant on hundreds of productions.
She was colorblind, which was the really, unfortunate bit, but she got paid.
She had strong opinions, literally writing a book on color, and would assert herself in a role she referred to as ringmaster to the rainbow.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What an ego on that one. I'm the maestro to the rainbow, I'll tell you that much right now. Blibbity blobbity blue.
Natalie rejected or accepted sets, costumes, hair, makeup, and lighting.
Oh my gosh, she had some power. She was just like, no.
Based on what would appear best in Technicolor, but she often applied her own personal preferences. Certain colors would not show up correctly using Technicolor's 3-strip process. For example, some blues would look green, or some colors would just look dull. During The Wizard of Oz, producer Mervyn LeRoy described the difficulty in finding the right shade of yellow for the Yellow Brick Road. They had to try several on camera until the right shade emerged.
I think that's another thing that people don't really think about very often when the filmmaking process and everything is just camera tests and things like that, especially back in the film days when you had to worry about what things were going to look like once they were actually developed and everything. So you would shoot them, you would pray that something looked decent, then you'd send them off to the lab there and everything. They'd get it all developed. You bring it back, you look at what you got, and you may have guitar picks, you may have something fantastic, but you never really know. And you could also just go like, oh, well, this doesn't look good. Let's try this. And then you try the next thing and you're like, well, we're closer, or, oh, we're further away. Maybe we need to go 2 steps this way or 1 step this way. And then just, repeat until you get what you actually desire there at the end of the day. And I think that we take that for granted these days, just because you look at a monitor and what you see is what you get.
Max Factor's development of color harmony in makeup was another tool in achieving Technicolor's look. It brought new stars to the forefront, people like Lucille Ball and Betty Grable, who really popped in color.
Betty Grable, I just say my voice is shot this week. I can't do anything. I'm sorry.
As Technicolor improved, lighting could become more subtle, and filmmakers started to butt heads with Natalie Kalmus. Producer David O. Selznick kicked her off the set of Gone with the Wind after making too many creative demands. When cheaper single-strip options for filming color were introduced, Technicolor started to lose ground in the industry. The studios no longer had to use Technicolor's cameras, and processing could be done faster.
That's what you do. You go and you do the cheap version of it. But as we all know, if you do the cheap version, you'll pay. You'll pay in the end.
Unfortunately, in the years that followed, the studios would realize that the color deteriorated much faster in these single-strip films.
I wonder if he's going to talk about A/B Technicolor.
Sadly, John Wayne's Jet Pilot was the last film released using the 3-strip process in 1957.
Apparently not.
Excuse me while I talk about movies for a second. I've been watching a lot of movies this past year, and I think I can predict the nominations for the...
Okay. He's predicting the nomination, so I clearly got this ahead of time. Let's see how correct he is, and maybe we'll talk Oscars for half a sec.
The Oscars. So we're going to start with number 1, Best Picture. I'm just going to go down the list here. We got Begonia. I'm thinking we got F1,
Nope.
Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme,
Yes.
One Battle After Another,
Yes.
Secret Agent, Cinema Value, Sinners, and Seurat.
You got Sinners
If I
in there. That's like how many do you think that they do, my boy?
get all of those correct, you owe me $5, but that's 10.
I don't think they nominated 10, did they? Let me look. Oscars, meet the Oscars. Here are all the nominations. These are the people. I'll share this with you so you can see it. How about that? You sons of bitches? You want to see the screen? You want to see the screen? Huh? You want to see the screen? You want to see it? I'll show you the screen, damn it. Get in there. Get in there. Get in. Get in there. Of course, it's so small. There's no way in hell you're reading it. I can't read it. There it is. Best picture. All right. No. I think he got them all. Somebody's on the take.
The ones that I'm worried about are F1 and Surratt. I think those are my biggest, like, on the bubble ones, but I have my faith. F1 got the PGA. Surratt got, like, so many precursors, or not precursors, shortlists. I'm like, is it possible? Can Surratt sneak in and, like, kick Wicked out, or Weapons? I don't know. That's my sneaky ones. The rest, I'm pretty...
You know what? Yeah, like No Weapons. That's another one that we're going to talk about here a little bit later. But yeah,
confident in. Then we go into best director.
Yep. Here's your biggest problem. MVD says the best. I've never heard of those. Yeah. Yeah. And the only reason that you've heard of the ones that you have heard of in there is because now that they are up to that 10 thing, they're up to the 10 nominees essentially, and they basically said this out loud too, which is the crazy part. Is they did that so they could just nominate some films that would actually get people to view, thinking, oh, we might give this an award. Now, it will happen to Sinners this year. Sinners is going to win several, obviously. Wow, one of the most overrated film of the year. A good film. Bronson, what the fuck are you doing, bud? In what world are you sitting on this couch? Do you do this when I'm not here? Do you just want to see yourself on the screen? What is this? Look at this dog. Back to your bed, please. What can I do? I'm not Hassan Piker. I'm not going to shock my dog. I can't do that. I just, what do you want from me? Sorry, I like my dog. Sorry. Anyways.
This is where we're going to see some of the same names over and over for the next little bit. Hamnet. Did I even put Hamnet? Okay, I did. I put. All right, Hamnet. Marty Supreme.
Man, they can't give it to her they can't give it to her 2 years in a row. That's impossible. Her first film gets an Oscar, and then what? Her second film gets an Oscar. First of all, your first film gets an Oscar. Fuck you. I'll say it. I ain't seen that movie, and I don't know that I will. But your first movie gets an Oscar. Fuck you. Fuck you. I don't like it. I feel like you gotta earn that. And the first time out, you're just like, no, you know what? You made the best film of everybody. First time outer. Fuck you. No. I don't like it.
One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, Sinners. I think those are the nominations.
And we all know what's gonna happen. Come on. All right. So again, I said it previously. I'm going to say it again, just so again it's on record. I believe Sinners will probably win best. Fuck. Here's the thing. I feel like One Battle After Another has to win something, and I feel like that's going to be Best Picture, because with Best Picture, that's when your guys can get up, make their little political speeches and shit. Because don't think that ain't part of what's going on, because it absolutely will be. But you got to have Ryan Coogler get Best Director. Now there'll be some other ones that are coming in there, and they'll get some texts and stuff like that, and that'll be fun. But I think Ryan Coogler is going to get Best Director because they've been slobbing on him for years. And now they've got a great excuse and one that's made a whole bunch of money. So that'll get people to tune into the Oscars. And then when the thing that people want to actually win an Oscar actually wins an Oscar, people will be more apt to come to the Oscars, the next year, because they figure, hey, they've liked somebody that I liked before. Maybe they'll like somebody again. They won't. Unless it's Ryan Coogler or somebody else that they can, ring that bell with and everything. But that's how that's going to go. I'm fairly certain. Yeah.
Obviously, I'm just saying the movie titles because I don't know the names of all these people. That's on me.
Yeah, you don't know the names of producers, you piece of garbage. What's wrong with you?
I know the names of most of them, but I'm only a man.
No, you got the internet connection. What's wrong with you?
I'm only a guy. I don't know everything.
Well, he just downgraded himself from man to a guy. Oh boy, what's next?
Then we got Best Actor. I'm going to go ahead and go Blue Moon, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sinners. Noticing a trend.
All right, let me double check. Let's double check. Double check. Golly. There's just so many damn things in here. All right, actor in a leading role. Timothy Chalamet, DiCaprio, yeah. Blue Moon, yeah. Jordan, yeah. The Secret Agent, was that the other one? Yeah. Okay. So he either made this after. He's
so far, the following movies have been nominated everywhere. One Battle After Another, Marty Supreme, and Sinners have all been nominated in all three categories so far, and I think that's going to keep going.
Yeah, it's pretty unimaginative, I think the word is.
I think you're going to see a lot of these main, 4 movies over and over this Oscars. Best Actress. This is where we have one that we haven't seen yet. Begonia, Hamnet, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, One Battle After Another, and Sentimental Value. That's my predictions. Now we're going to go on to the final category that I'm going to suggest here, and it's international feature. If you are interested, I can show you the predictions of the rest of my movies, but I'm just going to do these big 5, all right? International feature.
The international feature is one of the big 5. Sir. International feature is the one that nobody's ever fucking seen. That's always the category that people just go like, I'm sure those are fine films.
I have It Was Just an Accident, No Other Choice, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, and Surat. Those are my predictions. If I get them all right, $20. If I get anything right, 100.
Who's giving? Oh, you put a bet on a site or something. I guess that's what that was. You gonna get some money,
please? So yeah, like I said, I've been watching a lot of movies. If you like this, I would love to talk more about these movies and what I actually think about them instead of what I think the Oscars are going to predict and what the Oscars are going to nominate.
I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one. The interesting thing is with HMP boys and girls. We've been recording on Sunday for over 10 years. And there were a couple years in the beginning where I remember watching the Oscars. I would have it on the TV there on mute and watch it as we were recording the podcast there and everything. And then one year I just decided not to watch anything and just kind of record the podcast as we normally do and not watch and forego the Oscars, which I did religiously for probably 20 plus years or something. And I was just, probably more than that even. But I stopped watching it. You know what? I have not missed it. I have not missed it a bit. I would, and would I go back and watch it? I'll watch highlights. I mean, watch a couple acceptance speeches or songs or something like that. But I ain't sitting through no 4-hour broadcasting. And the way that they're doing it next time or this time, from my understanding, is they're going to be doing it like on YouTube or some shit like that, where they can just go ad infinitum if they want to. And God knows they'll want to. I mean, talk about, filleting themselves as long as they possibly can. What's next?
Hi, I'm going to watch Akira for the first time.
All right, we got our girl back from last week. This week is not going to be as bad as last week because last week she did Old Boy, which was wow to watch the reaction of that one. That was exactly what we wanted it to be. Beautiful, absolute beautiful reaction. Akira is going to be a good one. Akira is going to be a good one because it's going to be like normal. She'll question some things. She'll be like, oh, the animation looks like this. It looks like that. And again, I haven't watched this, but this is my guess. She'll be like, oh, the animation looks interesting. Oh, it takes a little bit of cool futuristic. I can see how this inspired things, blah, blah, blah. And then, but when we get to the end and everything starts going apeshit bananas, I think that's what she's going to be like, I didn't realize I signed up for this.
Pretty much blind. I have next to no concept of what Akira is about. I just looked up the premise like 20 minutes ago on IMDb, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that's what Akira was about. I only know 3 things. The bike slide.
Yeah.
The audio that went viral on here a little while ago.
No! It's so good.
And a scene at the end. And that I saw out of context, so I don't know.
Oh, man. She might have kind of seen it.
What's happening.
That's a bummer, dude.
At all. So
we'll see how it goes.
I'm going to get into some even comfier clothes, go watch Akira, and report back. I feel I'm going to be very educated in pop culture after I watch Akira.
Probably.
So it turns out the scene I saw out of context from Akira was the end of Akira.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. You saw. That's why I was just like, shit. She doesn't see the end. That ain't no good.
Regardless, that movie blew my tits clean off.
Regardless.
Akira is incredible. I understand everything now. I am forever changed. I am accessing 100% of my brain. I can smell colors. I truly feel like I've been upgraded. Like I got the DLC of life. It is so mesmerizing to see Akira, and that's a movie from 1988, and to see how far it pushed the limits of animation at the time, and it still holds up.
Yeah, it still looks really good. Like you wish there were more frames involved, but like if you can get your head around it, and you're okay with it, there'll be so much that you look at and you're just like, damn, that does look so good.
The story's incredible. Also, in watching Akira, I realized that everything else is referencing Akira. Literally, one shot in Akira is straight up shot for shot Stranger Things. Like, it's Arcane.
Oh, they don't be. They be stealing over there.
Is Akira? Everything's Akira. What?
It's kind of true.
Akira's awesome. Oh my god.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hoping to see more from her, man. Love these kind of these fresh watches for movies that we all kind of like, and I love being able to see movies through the eyes of somebody that hasn't seen them before. It's always a fun thing.
You know like Tom Cruise? Tom Cruise is an action actor. I went up to the Delacorte Theater.
Did you see Collateral?
You're talking.
Did you see Collateral?
Is it a drama?
Collateral is great. Collateral shows you that Tom Cruise is more than just an action star. Tom Cruise fucking destroys in that movie. He is absolutely killer in that flick. Jamie Foxx does a great job, but Tom Cruise is running circles around everybody. The Silver Fox, which by the way, Tom, can you talk to me for just hold on? Let me go single camera here for a second. Tom, if you're watching this, and I know you are, you gotta do the full gray. You gotta go the full gray. We know that you're fucking 70 years old almost at this point. Let him go gray. If we didn't know that it looked so fucking good in Collateral, we wouldn't even ask. We'd just be like, you know what? You can just have your auburn hair for the rest of the time in humanity. That's A-okay. But we know you look really, really good with that gray hair. Cop that gray hair again, man. I'm telling you, it'll change your life and your career yet again. I like this guy. He looks like Richard Lewis, doesn't he?
Collateral's a drama. Are you sick? It's like a psychological thriller.
Is it Hamlet? Is it Kenneth Branagh?
Oh my God. What do you want? Interview with a Vampire?
Is it an international cast?
You like Hamlet?
Is it an international cast? Where's Kenneth Branagh in this situation?
Robin Williams.
Watch your back.
Sorry. Kenneth Branagh.
Story,
Robin Williams.
Oh yeah, those are two names that you often think about in the same breath. The international cast.
Who? It was an international cast. What?
I'm going to be throwing that shit around for the rest of my life now. I'm going to be looking at like Nope and going, it's an international cast. Jordan Peele puts together an international cast for Nope. It's unbelievable. International cast.
What are you talking about?
You like William Dafoe, probably. This is the thing.
I bet you like Willem Dafoe.
The Last Temptation of Christ?
He's like, yes, I am a Willem Dafoe fan, as a matter of fact.
You see that?
William Dafoe's in there?
He's Jesus, for Christ's sake. Get it?
He played Christ.
Jude Law. favorite right
Jude
now.
Law is a good actor.
He's a good actor. Don't
Who doesn't like Jude Law? If you don't like Jude Law, you're a piece of garbage and you know it.
sleep on him. His hairline.
Yeah, sleep on him.
Hey, that hairline is as natural as the day is long. Don't you ever question Jude Law's hairline. Don't do that.
He did.
But he's a good actor.
No, what happened to what was the Jude Law and when he busted out in the scene with Matt Damon? What was?
What you call it? I can see the fucking cover. The Talented Mr. Ripley. Didn't like that movie. Didn't like it. A lot of people love it. Didn't like it.
What's that movie?
The Talented Mr. Ripley.
Look at me go, boys and girls. I'm sure everybody got it way faster than I did. They certainly did.
That's not Jude Law.
Yeah,
it is.
yes, it is. I know Jude Law. Get the fuck out of here.
That's a T-shirt right there. I know Jude Law. Get the fuck out of here.
Philip C. Hoffman was in there.
Yeah.
What? Now we're talking about actors.
Now we're talking about actors. Philip Seymour Hoffman has been in so many international casts.
No, Philip was amazing.
Tom Cruise. Yeah, Tom Cruise. I mean,
okay, and you know who was great with him? Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 3, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Your boy can go head to head. Come on now.
You can't sleep on Tom. I get where you're going. I know that
you can sleep on Tom because he could only do so much.
Disagree. Honestly, and you know something? You know something right here? I want to see Tom Cruise doing some comedy. I do. Like something like kind of like Night and Day, but like it doesn't have to be as action oriented. It really doesn't.
I'm from a real black community. We ain't got time for this shit.
First time I've ever seen a full ocular albino. Did I say that right? Say albino? Is that my text is so small and my eyes are so big.
The reason why video games rarely have faithful adaptations is because Hollywood is still stuck in the lesson that they learned from these movies.
Okay, explain.
Resident Evil fans will tell you these are very removed from the source material, but because
Kinda, yeah.
they were so popular and made so much money, this model became the blueprint.
Well, I guess so.
That's why a lot of video game adaptations still look like something that came out 20 years ago. But the studios aren't understanding that the audience was so much more forgiving in the early 2000s, and for good reason. The yearning for our favorite IPs to be adapted properly was still there, but it was outweighed by our overwhelming joy that it was getting adapted at all. Video games and comic books were very niche, and fans understood that the filmmakers had to make creative liberties and make changes in order.
We didn't like that. We didn't like that shit. We weren't even happy when we learned that Wolverine was going to be 6 foot tall. That seemed like a really giant mistake. Now, listen, going back in time here and everything, I think we can all agree that the most correct choice was possibly made with Hugh Jackman. But at the time, we were just like, Wolverine's not a tall guy. What are you doing?
Order to get the non-fans on board, so we can get these franchises to looking like how they do today. Never forget, you are in the driver's seat. You tell the studio what you want with...
Yes. We have to remember that we still actually have some power. And anybody that thinks that they don't have the power to change Hollywood is a big, giant dum-dum. And lest I point you back to such a close case of Sonic the Hedgehog. Paramount Pictures put out the trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog and the entire world threw up in their mouth. And we bullied Paramount Pictures to go back and spend, I would say, I'm going to go so far as to say millions of dollars. Maybe not, we're not talking like $10, $20 million, but I promise you they probably took $3 to $5 million on the very least to go through, redesign, and re-put together something that made that shit actually look good. We have the ability to bully companies until they do what we want. And like he's saying here, we can do it with our dollars and everything. I think we've been starting to do that. I think we've been starting to kind of wake up to that in life. We can watch The Acolyte now and go, that's a piece of garbage, and let them know. And guess what? They heard us and they canceled it. Good move. Let's go.
Your dollar. We built this brick by brick. And with technology being so much more advanced and us having so many examples that now anything is possible, there are no more excuses. Fans' expectations are understandably higher. Hollywood also has decided.
And that's been like kind of the cool thing over the years and everything as well, is to see superhero films really kind of also embrace the superhero aesthetic and everything. You know, it started right there in X-Men and everything. It's like, what would you want? What do you expect us to wear? Yellow spandex? It was a silly, stupid thing. But by the end of, you know, the Daredevil and Wolverine, we have a comic book accurate Wolverine costume all the way down to the mask. And it was the most dope shit you've ever seen in your entire life. Just because they did the thing that we wanted them to do, which was just recreate what we like. Why is that so difficult for you to figure out? I don't know. The first Sonic design happened so we could appear in the Rescue Rangers movie. It was fate, destiny. That guy. Thinking back on that Sonic, man, he looked like a fucking heroin addict. I so wanted that thing. There's a part of me that says, can you at least put that on the DVD as a bonus feature? Is the film with trash ass Sonic in it, with like, you know, homeless crackhead Sonic? My God.
Idea, well, you already played the game. We didn't want to give you the same thing that you already saw.
No, that's exactly what we wanted. You fucked up.
No, that's exactly what they want. That's the very reason they bought the ticket.
Duh. Hollywood is so stupid.
Because they want to re-experience the very thing that they love.
Yeah, they like it, and especially with like games like, you know, your Silent Hill and everything. Very cool game, very neat aesthetic there and everything. But there is something removed from it, from being a video game and all that kind of good stuff. So to be able to see something like that, you know, you want to see that translated live as best you possibly can.
And so I say all this to say, don't be surprised when there's backlash when the God of War TV series is skipping over the Greek mythology of his life.
Oh, they're gonna fuck everything up with that. Don't get that twisted. But you know, again, I hope it's good. Just bring the cinematic cool stuff of the game and bring that into real life. That's all we really want. Just recreate the feeling of playing the game into watching the, I guess, television show.
Don't be surprised when the next Resident Evil comes out, whose lead actor is saying is taking a comedic approach. Whose writer and director has said he's making an original story. He's not going to follow any of the characters you love.
Whoops-a-doodle. And that's, I don't know, man. That's like, so Zach Krieger has said that he's a big fan of the Resident Evil stuff and everything, but his stuff is not going to have, you know, your Chris Redfields and all that kind of jazz. So I don't know. It's like you're saying, hey, I'm a giant fan, but you're also saying, I'm not going to do what you think I'm going to do. Ooh.
This is coming from someone who loves this director's movies, and I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. Trust me, I am rooting for this movie to be good. My point is, don't be surprised when fans watch your movie and go, okay, cool, but where's Jill Valentine? Where's Chris Redfield? Why is Leon not doing an unnecessary backflip? Why is it so hard for you to just give us the thing that we want when we know that you can?
Yeah, who's to say? Well, my guy, who is this little guy? He's been yapping here. I guess we're cool, bud. We're cool. We're the coolest of cool.
What are you thinking, like, with Skeletor?
All I know is
no. What do you mean it's me? No one knows who you are, homie.
Is that they got the look down right now? That's Skeletor.
Yeah.
Ain't that old, like that paper mache mask that?
Oh man. Oh, by the way, so let's talk about this real fast. I saw the Masters of the Universe trailer, and let me tell you something. 9-year-old Adam is bussing. I am excited, dude. That shit looks so good. It looked exactly, again, we're coming back to making it what the fans want. When I watch that trailer, you know what I see? I see the He-Man I grew up with. It looks exactly like that. Like, it looks, you know, better. It looks like a better version of the thing that I saw when I was a kid. It was exciting. It may be trash, but at least from that trailer and stuff, I was like, man, they've captured the feeling of what it was like to watch that, and what I had hoped that this original Masters of the Universe was when the Frank Langella Dolph Lundgren one came out.
Frank Langella had on in that old Dolph Lundgren movie. I know they're not going to do it, but my Skeletor is gay and hurls insults at everybody.
Yeah.
You are a stupid crackhead.
All day.
Brainless idiots. You couldn't even beat a motley group of gnomes. Get off.
Motley group of gnomes. Love it.
Over here, you furry fool. You furry-faced fool.
He's just a little effeminate.
Yeah.
And that.
And yeah, if Jared Leto plays, which by the way, that was the thing. I'm like, well, at least Jared Leto's covered up by a full big fucking mask and everything, so we don't have to look at him. So that's we got that going for us.
It's from the cartoon. That's not manipulated. Yeah, I don't know how he's going to talk. We can't hold on to every ounce and inch of that nostalgia. All right.
You sound like an apologist.
I know that the movie ain't gonna have Skeletor sitting like that. I know he ain't gonna be.
I don't know, man. Jared Leto will be making some interesting choices. So who's to say?
Going around talking like this.
You don't know. I mean, I would love it if he did. Don't get me wrong. I would love it if he did, but you got to give it. Listen, for the sake of for the sake of a live action, big screen, multi-million-dollar adaptation,
and bringing everybody in.
Yeah, you can't make him hella gay.
Yeah, you got to give some leeway. Jared Leto is going to play him, so Jared Leto is I'm sure just doing voice.
He's going to make it weird. I'll at least give him that
motion capture. But hey, look, they got the look down, so I got to meet them halfway, man. You know, I got to let go of some things.
Yeah.
I know that.
Well, it looks good. It looks good. I am interested. So we'll see. 2 words to curb your enthusiasm. Jared Leto. Like you said, listen. As long as he's playing a douchebag, and I'm not trying to they ain't trying to make him like the handsome hero that everybody loves because they can relate to them. I think that's going to be okay.
This is a 100-year-old movie theater.
That's old.
And it's like nothing you've ever seen before.
I don't know. I've seen some stuff. I've seen some shit, man.
It starts with this regal entrance, leads into a
which is oddly enough not a Regal branded theater.
Modern yet classic concession stand. And the reason Lindy's jaw is on the floor is because this is not a normal movie theater.
It's also a slaughterhouse.
Because the entire ceiling is handcrafted to look like a starry night sky.
Do you know how many fucking movie theaters have starry skies? I mean, it's like they practically come with like home theater kits and stuff these days.
And I promise the camera does not do this justice. Like, you need to see this in person. And the view from upstairs,
why do we talk like this?
Opinion is even better. There's even these seats that are literally just couches. Also,
why the voice?
The attention to detail and craftsmanship and architecture in this place is impeccable.
I don't know. Like I've been to Grauman's Chinese Theater. That's pretty impressive. And I was there back in the day before the reno. So I saw it with like the original screen and orchestra pit setup and all that kind of jazz. So they changed it since then, but it's different than this for sure. But
fun fact, they used to have a real organ here because in silent film,
yeah, they all did.
Films 100 years ago, they would only play live music. Now, before the movie starts, we had to try some popcorn.
Perfect saltiness, perfect butteriness, 10 out of 10.
I don't know who's more fake, him or her.
I don't know how we're gonna top this one.
The moment the lights...
You're gonna top it with butter and salt, you fucking idiot. What are you talking about?
Lights went dark, you could hear a pin drop. This is what the cinema community...
You could hear a pin drop and my iPhone running.
Community has been yearning for. And the reason this place still exists is because of the community. It's actually a non-profit, and a lot of the proceeds go towards literally keeping the lights on.
Go to literally keeping the lights on. You know how you know this? Because this tells you that I'm a really good guy. All right.
Look, I know we in a polar vortex and all, but leg it down a binner, all right? Leg it down a binner. I'm out here looking for snow bunnies. Shit is colder than a text from your ex after she finds you making love to a midget. Y'all relate to this? You ever been riding in the car with your friend on a cold day and he said, let me turn the heat up, and he cranks it all the way to like infinity temperature? It is so hot. That car go from frozen tundra of the Arctic to a volcano in the Sahara Desert, player. Shit is hotter than a Bolivian stripper. You know, a lot of people making a big fuss about the Oscars and Sinners getting nominated for 60. Look, Sinners was a good movie, but 16 Oscars, that's a little excessive.
Agreed, fake Tarantino. Agreed. It's good. But here's the best part, kids. You ain't going to sweep like Return of the King did. You might have gotten more, but you ain't going to get more. You ain't going to run the table like the king did, baby.
All right. It's a movie about dancing vampires, all right? What if I I made a movie about rapping werewolves where like 50 Cent and Method Man are like biting people in the.
Oh my God, I would watch that so hard. 50 Cent Method Man doing a rapping werewolf movie. Fucking take my money, please.
They start rapping. How would you like that? Actually, I'll take it.
I would love that.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna take that. All right.
That'll be his 10th movie. Is him. What a way to go out. I'll take it.
Are there any films of your brother's that you're just blown away by from his performance, or even shows?
Yeah, there's a couple that he's.
I think we all forget that the Turturro brothers are actually related, despite Turturro being, I don't know, maybe not the most. It's not like Smith or nothing like that, but you forget these guys are the brothers there, huh?
Definitely quiz show, blown away by how good he is in a quiz
Agree. Quiz show, amazing.
show. His voice, everything. The night of, he was amazing. That HBO show.
That was phenomenal show.
When he was young, he did this movie Five Corners where he throws his mother out the window. He's phenomenal in the movie. He played a psychopath. This guy Heinz Sabatino, and he was just breathtaking. The movie was okay, but he was better than the movie. John Patrick Shanley, who wrote this play that John did.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to go back to like Barton Fink, maybe.
Wrote this part for him to be in Five Corners. He's great in that movie. Great. Miller's Crossing, he's really, really good in that. Even like Mr. Deeds, he's insanely good.
He is chewing on some scenery in Mr. Deeds like nobody's business. It's crazy how he's just like, I'm going to just do what I want to do.
So good. His accent, he's so funny.
My name's Deeds. I am Emilio, sir. I am your servant. Servant? I don't want a servant, but you want to be my friend? I'll take that. Friends. Yes. Good friends.
I hadn't seen that movie since the movie theater. That's how long it's been since I've seen Mr. Deeds. Does it hold up? Doubt. We got to be honest, though. Every movie in the Lord of the Rings trilogy should have swept the Oscars. Agreed. But they knew that they couldn't do it 3 years in a row, so they waited and gave it 100%, 1,000%. And I don't think anybody could really, try to argue against that. If you go back, the Lord of the Rings, those 3 consecutive years was the best in all of those categories in every single one of those years. They won in some of those categories in other years for sure. But it was like the cinematic achievement that was the Lord of the Rings trilogy is really unbelievable. And the fact that they did it, all 3 of them, they're all fantastic. The fact that the extended cuts are all even better than it's insane. Insane. What a bet and a win.
Did you have any idea how big Back to the Future would be? Obviously, you didn't know how big it was, but did you, when you heard about the audition?
It's Thomas Wilson, everybody.
Right? You got an audition for it?
Yes.
Did you hear, there's this role, there's this Robert Zemeckis film? It was kind of like, you just kind of thought, oh, there's another audition.
It was a very significant script. It's Steven Spielberg executive producing, Robert Zemeckis directing. So it was
So at that time, these two were kind of killing it.
Big movie. Before that, I'd done some commercials. I'd done some guest stuff on TV. I introduced biscuits at Kentucky Fried Chicken in the national commercial.
Introducing biscuits.
So before me, no biscuits.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Are you shitting me before? Okay, hold on. When did KFC start serving biscuits? Oh, that question comes up quick. That's interesting. You got to be fucking around. How about this? KFC officially replacing their traditional dinner rolls with buttermilk biscuits in the early 80s, specifically around 1981, 1982. That would explain why I never knew about it, because I was born in 82. So there you go. The most hated interview question. Did you ever have any idea how big blank it was going to be? Nobody ever freaking knows that.
Welcome. It was a long audition process. I really thought...
I feel like, though, if there's anything that you could think might be big, it would be a Steven Spielberg produced thing in, 1985. I feel like if there's anything that's a damn near perfect bet there, I think that would be it.
I don't have the credits to be cast in a big movie like this.
Sure.
But maybe I could be one of Biff's gang members, and they'll give Biff to.
And he would have been like you would have initially thought of him like if you think about the traditional kind of gang mentality and everything. You could see because he was the biggest guy. You could see him being the kind of sidekick characters, like boss, one of those that's beating him up.
Andrew McCarthy or somebody,
right.
Judd Nelson, one of those guys.
Yeah, I could see that. Like Judd Nelson be a bad guy, and then him be kind of the muscle behind that. I could see that.
I was a weak kid. I had asthma. I was pushed around by bullies my whole life. I didn't want to play a bully. I didn't like the character. I wasn't crazy.
Well, no, who would like playing the characters unless you really like relish playing an asshole?
Crazy about it. I thought I'd be one of Biff's gang members. Anyway, so Crispin and I go outside to work on the scene. I turn to him, you got my homework ready, McFly? And Crispin, sort of turns into a human question mark. Well, Biff, and I had to stop because I almost started to cry.
Oh man, he's got a big heart on him. It's just like, oh man, I scared this fucker so bad. I feel bad.
Because it was like looking at myself in the 6th grade. And I totally lost my train of thought. And he said, is everything? And I had to do it's fine. It's fine. We'll try it again. In a TV audition or audition, I mean, sometimes in the theater, you get with an actor where the headlights are very bright, man. You have to get into that scene and not bail on it and pay for it emotionally in every way. And that's Crispin. But man, he's the linchpin of the movie. And I always say that.
That's pretty cool. Great story.
Bring Her Back is a horror film that firmly establishes itself as one of the year's most unsettling movies.
You got that right, brother. And you know what? Sally Hawkins, no nomination. What the fuck?
After watching this film, you'd be like, wow, that was really good. I don't feel great right now, though.
No, you do not.
And the directors, YouTubers, the Philpro brothers, Danny and Michael Vilbo, they dispel just such a confident command of their filmmaking, which they already did such a great job. Talk to Me from a couple years ago, one of my other favorite movies that was also on a previous top 10 list the year that came out. They're great at creating atmosphere, building tension, scene by.
The Academy doesn't like kids eating knives. It's fair. It's fair. Nobody liked that scene. Everybody's like, oh. That's how I was during that whole show. It's like, oh, Jesus, now.
I seen about resorting to cheap jump scares like lesser horror filmmakers, lesser filmmakers in general. Like, I'm trying to think, where was there like a jump scare? Maybe one, but it feels so earned and it's so like shocking. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, man, that movie kicked ass. No love for that. Very little love for even weapons and stuff like that. Yeah, I will say this though, at least Sinners is out there and making a little hay for horror films and things like that. So it gives you a little bit of glimmer of hope. But let's be honest, it's Ryan Coogler's the one that's kind of behind that. It's not the genre that people give a shit about.
Comedy the last 10 years has just been quips and jokes that the actors say. It's not.
That's where I stopped this. I was just like, isn't that okay? Let's see where he's going with this. What do you want? Pratfalls?
Not performance-based. Ace Ventura, when he's doing the football bit with the skirt on, and he's got his crazy hair, and he's...
Let's see that again.
Yeah.
It is a replay.
That's a sketch. They would write a sketch into...
I don't know. That goes as far as calling a sketch, but I see what you're going for.
The script. And the actor would do basically a skit in the movie. That football bit, that's like an SNL sketch.
Sure, yeah.
He's not just saying one or two lines like they do nowadays. It's actual performance.
Committing for a long period of time to a character.
It's a bit.
Right, because here's the thing. At the end of the day, that was not written on a piece of paper. That was called Jim Carrey. That's the difference. Yeah.
It's not just a line. And I think that the last 10 years, it's just been actors saying a line or two that someone wrote. It has nothing to do with comedic performance. It's more about comedic timing. And the great comedic actors are great performers. That's why they can
We watched that movie so much as kids, as I'm like just watching it in the corner there, and I know all the dialogue and everything. Just goes get some water, shit smacks back in. He is just having a fucking time.
That's why they're great with drama. That's why these actors can fucking crush into a dramatic role, because they
bang smashes.
They are in every comedic bit they're doing. They are committed to the performance, and it's just a matter of changing the tone for drama. So that's why Jim Carrey can do great dramatic acting, and you don't see that anymore. The comedic actors are not doing bits anymore. They're just saying funny things. Or
there's kind of a different thing, because most of those people aren't like writing those things, nor are they starring in those things, nor are they kind of the creative kind of force behind what's going there. So they normally wouldn't. I don't think that we give those people enough credit and ability to fly these days. Yeah, right. Let's get
if something funny happens to them, and that's basically it. So the characterization of their performance is basically gone.
This was my favorite part of the movie, to be sure. So good.
This is earth-shattering news for a certain type of person.
And I am this certain type of person. Jason's got a big video here on this one, so buckle in, kids. My guess is I got some opinions on this. My guess is Chad has some opinions on this, and we want to hear yours. We're talking Star Wars, bitches. Strap in.
The original theatrical cut of the first Star Wars film, not the special edition, is coming back to theaters.
I will believe it when I see it. Do you know how long we have been promised this, and how long we have been lied to time after time after time? George Lucas himself was a real giant turd and a half on this bad boy. Goes, no one wants that. They all want the special editions. Those are the good ones. And then so much so that we were like, nah, man, we'd really like this regular editions, please. The ones that you didn't touch. And he goes, okay, I tell you what, we're going to put those out on DVD, and we'll see if you guys really like them like you say you do. Now, here's the untouched one. We didn't do anything to it. We didn't restore it. And as a matter of fact, we didn't even put it in widescreen. Fuck no. Well, it is in widescreen, but it's not an actual anamorphic letterbox. So when you put it into your DVD player and everything, it will have a 4:3 aspect ratio and black bars on top of that. George Lucas, pulled a big giant fuck you to everybody and said, see, nobody wants it. Wrong, asshole. Again, it's another one of those things is you guys don't even know what we want. And what we want is the most obvious thing in the world. What we initially had. Just give us the stuff that we wanted. You showed us a thing. It was something that we knew for 40 years and you fucking changed it. Why? Let's move on.
And if you're out of the loop on Star Wars to the point that you don't know what...
See, even MVDs, like I believe when I see it. Exactly. And when it's in the theaters and I see it and it's been restored and it looks fantastic and nothing's been stepped on with CGI and bullshit, then I'll be a happy man. I'm the happiest of mans. Please make it happen. I won't believe it until I see it.
What I mean by special editions, buckle up. If you're under a certain age, there's no way you can understand the pure chaos that ensued back in 1997. There's nothing.
It was wild, dude. I was in high school. I mean, and this was back in the day when they were just like, we don't give a shit. The kids are drinking soda at school. So we had like Pepsi machines and stuff. And of course, Pepsi was, with Star Wars and Frito-Lay and everything. So, you would buy a 20-ounce drink every day that's got a fucking stormtrooper on it. It was amazing, dude. You go over and buy a package of Doritos, R2-D2s on it, man. It was what a crazy time it was.
Nothing I can compare it to today because there's nothing that exists today the way Star Wars did in the 1980s. There's just too much other media for people to consume. The original Star Wars trilogy was simply the biggest and most successful entertainment product ever made. In an era when there was no internet and when there was no such thing as even watching movies on demand, Star Wars just dominated. Basically, if you're old enough to remember when Harry Potter was at its apex in terms of popularity, multiply that times, say, 20.
I was going to say, as big as Harry Potter was, not even close. Not even close, brother.
But a crazy thing happened that would not happen today, which is that there were 3 movies and then it just stopped. The last film came out in 1983, and everybody at the time just assumed there would be more Star Wars at some point in 1987 or 88. Instead, there was nothing. Until in the late 90s, it was finally announced that George Lucas was going to come back with a new trilogy, almost 2 decades later.
And the amount of lies we've been told by George Lucas over the years, hasn't it been amazing? The amount of jerk it off that we've had to run into, it's quite astounding.
But before that, he was going to re-release the original trilogy as special editions, which people thought at the time they were just going to go back and clean up the print because
well, yeah, but no.
At this point, it was very old. You couldn't watch a version that didn't have a bunch of scratches and hairs on it. Instead, entire new scenes were added with,
I hope he goes over the iterations.
With extremely bad and sloppy CGI.
And it would only get different. Not better, not worse, just different.
And all-time iconic moments were altered to totally change their meaning.
Yeah, remember everybody, there is no question of did Han shoot first. Han's the only one who shot. The only one. That's what makes him a scoundrel. He didn't play by the rules.
Being 1997, this was pre-social media, but it was right when the internet was becoming ubiquitous. But this was the first huge fan revolt and nerd freakout I ever saw online. If you don't know the phrase, Greedo shot first, you just had to be there, I'm sorry. But an entire media ecosystem...
Greedo didn't shoot, period. Period. It was just him. Greedo's got his gun, and he's giving him the business and everything, and he doesn't know that Han's got the gun under the table. That's what makes him a scoundrel. That's what makes him an interesting character. But you made him CGI duck out of the way of a bullet, and like the motherfucker didn't even move. It's so bad. It's so bad. And they've redid it several times throughout different releases and everything. They're just like, we updated it again. Did you make it better? Not particularly.
Basically came of age in the wake of this event. I can't imagine what kind of traffic they were generating off of the outrage over this.
Brother, it was ridiculous. And I've had 2 things published on Ain't It Cool News before in the past, little preview reviews that I did and stuff like that with a whole handful of other people that would do it. I sent in 2 little things and they got in there. One was for a Harry Potter movie, believe it or not.
Some of you who were not there at the time are saying, well, yeah, but you could always just go back and watch the original. But here's the thing. No, you couldn't.
Yep. They were just like, this doesn't exist anymore. Now, it did exist in the edition that came out just before this. I got like a sealed copy here somewhere. Unfortunately, it's 4.3, but you know how that is. But it literally was what they were saying when they were doing it. Only original trilogy one last time. And they were right. They were dead fucking right back then.
George Lucas.
Then it was just special editions from here on out. And this special edition in the gold, that's your widescreen version. The silver was the standard 4.3.
Became extremely aggressive about making sure that the original cut was nowhere to be found. That it was no longer for sale on home video, that it was no longer broadcast anywhere.
George Lucas was ashamed of the thing that gave him fortune and fame. Everything that he's got, Oscars were won for this movie. And then he just sat and spat in the face of the people that, that pioneered special effects. It's fucking unbelievable.
And this gave birth to a legitimately fascinating debate about who owns something like this.
We do. We do. The second that your material leaves your hands and is consumed by the world, that is no longer your product. That is ours. You made that for consumption. We are the consumers. You do not get to go back and change the thing that you finished. You finished. You gave it to us. That's what we get. And we don't want anything else. Sure, you could do better things. Do we want better things? History has proven no, we don't.
This is why I can't really compare it to anything today, because let's say J.K. Rowling demanded that they re-release a new version of the Harry Potter film.
But Dobby's got a big dick.
and books where Voldemort survives at the end, and then demanded that all copies of the original be pulled from shelves, both the films and the books too.
Yep.
In the internet era, you could still track down the original easily enough.
Oh yeah, baby. And I've got the original trilogy I got it on DVD back in the day when you could buy anything in the lawless days of eBay and everything. Somebody had ripped all of the Star Wars films and special features and bonus features and everything from the Star Wars Laserdisc and put all of those onto DVD and sold them on Amazon. And I got my copies and I have kept them forever. They're anamorphic, so you can put them in your regular DVD player, fills up the entire screen properly. They're not super, touched up or anything else like that. So you're seeing a lot of dirt and scratches and whatnot. But it's the original movie that the one that you grew up watching. And that's ultimately what we want. We want the movie that we grew up watching as kids. That's what we want. Why are you taking away the thing that we want? You can have the other thing, and that's perfectly fine. But give us what we want.
But George Lucas had a very strict.
Again, it's the same Sonic thing. All you got to do is yell at them hard enough and say "fuck you," and eventually they'll go like, "All right, we want your money."
Position on this, which is that he owned the IP, and what happens in the story is up to him. Where a lot of fans are saying, no, the original version had been out there for 20 years. This is the version that we all have in our minds.
You don't just get to go and change it because you don't like it and you feel embarrassed by a thing that wasn't up to, whatever crazy standards that your mind had during the day, or your revisionist thoughts that you see. Because everybody, when they look at their own work, goes, boy, I wish I would have done this better. I wish I would have done that better. Understandable. But you were done. You don't get to do redos.
This now belongs to us, not you. But also, it was very shocking to the fans because it was such an ominous sign of what was going to happen with the Star Wars prequels.
I don't even think I saw Jedi in the theater. I might have, but I like this little bit right here. I was just like, why? I think I probably did see it, but I think I only saw it once.
Because everything about these changes strongly implied that George Lucas himself no longer understood the trilogy or what was good about it.
No, I don't think he ever did, because ultimately George Lucas didn't write the trilogy. George Lucas is not ultimately the brainchild of all this. He can say that he was, but he wasn't. His writing team I have always sat up and told everybody that I believe his writing partners from American Graffiti actually went through and rewrote his script into something that was actually, shootable for everybody. Because when you go back and you look at the Star Wars archives and stuff like that, and you go and see a lot of the early scripts for Star Wars, they read very much like episodes 1, 2, and 3. And the fact that New Hope isn't like that tells you a lot. New Hope has some of it. There's some of it. But there's a lot of Star Wars stuff, especially when you compare it to the original screenplay and stuff that was taken out to make it more accommodatable to regular audiences.
He had been away from it for so long that his sensibilities had changed. He was in his early 30s when they made this. The special effects in this film had to be invented from scratch. Those techniques didn't exist. When he did the special editions in the prequel series, he was in his early 50s. And as somebody who is 50 years old himself, I'm telling you, you're just not the same person at that age. I don't even mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying your sensibilities change.
No, I'm not the same person that I was at 20. Very different.
And that's fine for your new work to reflect your new sensibilities. That's how all artists work. But the question among fans, the question that I still find fascinating is, what right do you have at that age to go back and rework your old stuff?
You have zero right to do that. You have zero right to do that. Or if you do that, then release it as something separate. Release it as its own thing, but don't deny us the thing that is ours, that we already, were presented.
According to your new sensibilities. So this has been an ongoing fight ever since.
And the fucking 4 different versions of Jabba over the times, the theatrical version, and then you had the VHS version. Then you had the DVD version. Then you had the Blu-ray version. Each version of Jabba in those was updated. It was different CGI every time. And and it never really got better. It just got different.
In 2006 or so, they released DVDs that had a version of the original film.
Told you, is he going to talk about anamorphic though?
But it was like a rip from the Laserdisc.
No, it was a non-anamorphic rip.
And there were rumors at the time that the original print without all of this stuff was actually gone.
That always seemed like bullshit to me. That I was just like, because George was like, that print doesn't exist anymore. We ruined it. I'm like, I don't think that's fucking true.
It had been
and there have been guys over the years like Robert Harris that goes, let's say that's true. He goes, let's say that's true. We have enough really good prints out there that we could source and do proper scans and everything and make things really good. He was always like, all you got to do is just say go, and we're off to the races. So
destroyed in the course of making this. But since that time, Disney has bought Star Wars, and original prints have been found.
Oh, what a shockaroo!
And thus the news that they're going to take that original print and clean it up and re-release it for the 50th anniversary.
Listen. Nothing will make me happier. Please make it happen. I mean, now listen. I mean, because like I celebrated the 40th anniversary of Star Wars in Grauman's Chinese Theater. Like we realized, like on our trip to LA for the Star Wars Celebration 4 in LA, we realized I was like, oh shit, it is 40 years day and date to when Star Wars debuted at this theater. Let's go. So we watched 28 years or 28 28 weeks. What was it? 28 days, 28 weeks later. And I didn't care for the film, but I was in Grauman's Chinese Theater looking around. You can just look at the entire architecture and stuff that's on while you're in that theater and just go like, who was in this seat at some points? That was fun, even though I didn't care for the film.
And if you're doing the math, yes, this is not happening until 2027.
Yes, very much so. There are people on YouTube that have already fixed these issues and cleaned up the movies. Yeah, they're called the despecialized editions, and you can get those on. What those guys have been doing has been taking the best elements from Star Wars from all around the internet, different sources here, there, and everywhere, and cobbling them together to make the best quality version of Star Wars that you possibly can. That is the most original to the original release and everything. So hopefully that will be a thing of the past. We won't have to worry about that, and we'll get a really nice quality print. Again, believe it when I see it. Let me cough up a brick here. Take a quick little break and see if I can walk the dog for half a second, and I'll come back and we'll finish this bad boy out. I'll get a little drip of water here, and we'll be right back. Just give me a sec here. All right, be right back. Oh, all right, there it is. You got to turn that up, huh? All right. And we're back. But if you want the actual special editions, a fan editor known as Adawan is doing. I think it'll be after his passing. The original. No, I don't think so. I think if they do it, the 50th would be a good spot to do it. You can, you can say now that Kathleen Kennedy is gone, that's the reason that you do it. Like you can fans could shit on her even more and just be like, well, the reason that they finally were able to put him out is because it's fucking Kathleen Kennedy wouldn't let him do it. I could see that being an excuse.
Matt Damon and Ben Affleck went on Joe Rogan to promote.
Oh boy, here's my number one op on the app here, everybody. It's real takes, real bad takes is what I call them, because most of his takes are terrible. By the way, I saw this Joe Rogan episode with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck in it, and I suggest people watch it. I think you should watch the majority of it. Once they get in to start talking about MMA, if that's not a thing that you're interested in, you can just stop watching at that point. But I think the first half where they really are talking about movies and the movie industry itself is quite interesting. And I think will open up a lot of people's eyes. And I think Ben Affleck's a lot smarter than people give him credit for sometimes.
Promote their new Netflix movie. And part of how they spent their time there was complaining about Netflix. And they're getting a lot of praise.
That is good. Yes, you should start bullshitting and saying things bad, even with the people that have hired you. I think that's a brave thing to do, as a matter of fact.
For each of their commentary, and I find it funny that a lot of people are just ignoring the blatant hypocrisy in all of this. One thing that
oh boy, see, then this is where he gets off and everything. Just goes, here comes the blatant hypocrisy. Ugh, let's go. What do you got there? And again, you wouldn't say this shit if they were on another podcast that wasn't Joe Rogan, right? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. You wouldn't say that shit if they went on fucking Ta-Nehisi Coates. Fucking not that somebody would do that, but because that's a stupid thing.
It's being talked about on film Twitter and treated as news, right? Is how Netflix makes demands when you sign on with them that you have to be reiterating the plot out loud, having characters literally saying what they're thinking, feeling, what's happening, what's going to happen, etc. multiple times because people are on their phones.
Yeah. Who's shocked by that revelation, huh?
This is called second screen viewing. This has been talked about for years. This is not news. It openly says when.
Okay, so they're pointing it out. What's your beef?
They signed on with Netflix for distribution. They say, okay, you have to have more action set pieces. He's talking about people's attention spans here, saying they want a big action set piece in the.
Okay, apparently he didn't watch it. He just read someone's recap of it. Okay, good.
First 5 minutes, wanting people.
Makes you feel like you really did your research.
People to stay tuned in. Wouldn't be terrible if you reiterated the plot 3 or 4 times in the dialogue. Everyone in the industry.
Yeah, because people are stupid and they're correct. What's your beef?
I believe already knows this is not some secret that Matt.
Oh my fucking God. Are you fucking over whether or not it's a revelation? Jesus.
Damon is revealing, and also anyone who's just watched a Netflix movie over the past multiple years understands.
I already do it because I'm smarter than everyone else. You guys, you're really a little late to the game on this one. Me, I'm the smart one here, not you.
This is from The Hollywood Reporter in 2023. This was Justine Bateman talking about how the big streaming companies push back and say this isn't second.
Yeah, and you don't like Justine Bateman either, do you? Do you, fella?
Screen enough. Assuming the viewer is primarily looking at their phone or laptop and you don't want to have anything in your film or TV project that is going to.
Are they wrong? Are they wrong?
To distract them from their primary screen. One stuff, it's just going to kind of quietly exist in the background. Do you want to know the answer for these two established Hollywood star millionaires with their own production company? Perhaps.
Oh man, you want a little bit of peanut butter to go with that jelly, big boy? My God, they've got things that I don't have. Like. Hey, jealousy. Come on, big boy. Come on.
Apps don't work with Netflix in the first place because you already knew this, or don't allow them to push you around. The Departed isn't great because it's made for people who aren't paying attention. It's great because of all the subtext, all the small looks.
It's not as good as Infernal Affairs, though. Now is it?
The facial expressions, the glances, the little exchanges, the personal details that allow the payoff to hit as
the real subtle rat at the end of the movie.
As hard as it does. The same can be said for Temu, The Departed, The Town, which I still think is a very solid film. See,
Yet I will backhand it with praise. It's the Temu version, but it's really good. Wow. Brave stances you're taking.
They want to have their cake and eat it too. They want the nice fat check from Netflix. They want it to plop onto streaming, not have to worry about a theatrical release.
Right. So they can do something to go through and make money, but like, is it not incumbent upon them then? Like, I mean, like they did that, yes, but they're also at the same time telling you, hey, this is a thing and it's a problem that's going on right now. Why are you damning them for at least pointing it out? Well, they're taking money too. Shut up.
Not have the risk there, right? Then they want to sit back and criticize Netflix and how they, kind of warp writers into doing what they want. And they
do you want them to suck dick or not? Which is it? I'm confused.
They also want to criticize AI. Again, work with Netflix, which is diving headfirst into AI slop.
Again, do you agree with everything and everything your employer has ever done? I doubt it.
As fast as it can. These are not some scrappy upstarts trying to break into the industry. These are Ben Affleck and Matt Damon producing their own film. See, the last thing they produced that went into theaters also felt like...
Jesus Christ, he takes forever and really doesn't say anything, does he? He's going on forever and ever. And he's repeated the same thing fucking 4 times at this point. Do we have another point to get to?
Like streaming slop in The Accountant 2. This was a movie that completely lost the plot.
It was a piece of shit. That movie was no good.
Plot of what made the first movie great. Now,
I can't believe I'm going to say this. I agree.
With Netflix, you want the paycheck and the safety, while making a movie that I have heard is pretty much propaganda about...
No, so you haven't even seen it. Again, it's another one of these things. A motherfucker's judging films that they haven't seen. You can't say a film's bad if you haven't seen it, you twat.
Drug cartels. And you want to go wear a pin for Renee Good and speak out against ICE. And you want to go on Joe Rogan and...
Oh, see, there's like, you're not doing the things I want you to do. You must listen to me, Hollywood boy. For I am your better. Get out of here.
Cry about the studio that you just helped enable and make money and cancel culture. All in all,
Jesus Christ, this guy right here. You're on fucking TikTok, my boy. You're on TikTok. That's up until 5 seconds ago was Chinese zone. So
every sense of the word,
I'm better than everyone else except for when you can just make excuses.
I think these two just seem a little bit confused.
Oh my God. You seem a little bit like a fucking bitch who just goes around trying to do, like, again, if they were on another show that wasn't Joe Rogan, you wouldn't have a fucking problem with it. What a douche. Just show your colors, my boy. Fucking fantastic conversation between those 3 guys, and there was no politics talked at all. Oh God.
I just wanted them to make a He-Man and the Masters of the Universe movie, a good one, not like the Abomination came out in the 80s.
Yeah, it was. But, well, listen, even as a child, I was stoked for that He-Man. I was like, man, He-Man, this is going to be great. I'm going to love this. And then you see it and you're like, is this supposed to be He-Man? This don't look like none of the He-Man I ever seen. Where's Orko?
What looks to be the official trailer came out this morning. Okay. Now, if you guys don't know, Eternia is a land of hope and possibility and a wonderful place, and it is not connected to Earth at all. There is nothing earthbound about Eternia. In the He-Man original Masters of the Universe card.
I get you, boy, taking a nap there, though. I understand. When somebody will get in and like, oh, Jesus, who gives a shit?
Adam and He-Man exist exclusively and wholly in Eternia. That is their world. That is their universe. That is where they are.
Well, we can't explain that to dumb audiences. Don't you know that people are stupid? The only people that could understand that world are children. And that they want to appeal to adults because they've got money.
At no point is Earth a thing. They never talk about Earth. Earth is not in this universe. And yet, in the movie, as they did in 1987, Adam just is a guy that has a ho-hum 9-to-5 job in Earth. He's on Earth and he's punching a time clock and he's like, oh well, I wish I had a better place. I wish.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's again, that's part of the hero's journey thing.
I had my place in this world. And then he ends up going to Eternia. But that's not the story. That's not canon. He was born into Eternia. He's the son of the king of Eternia. There's no reason that Adam
Oh, but maybe they got into a Superman situation where they sent him from Eternia to Earth to chill out while blah 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 blah.
Should be on Earth at all. Earth is not a part of the He-Man universe. This is crazy. Why is Adam punching a clock selling insurance on Earth, and then he has to go find the magical sword, and that takes him to Eternia? That doesn't make sense. He's the Prince of Eternia. I'll say this. Skeletor looked incredible. Skeletor, which I believe...
Homeboy's still taking it up. He goes, I'll tell you one thing. Skeletor looked incredible.
I believe it's Jared Leto. A lot of the times with these movies, with the Master Universe movies and concepts, Skeletor looks bad. If you can find the shot of Skeletor, boy, he looks awesome. And the Tila didn't look great. I didn't love Tila. She didn't look as hot as she needed to look.
Man at Arms look good though. Man, Idris Elba's Man at Arms. I think everybody was just like, I ain't got no problem with that.
They threw Cringer in there at the end. I'm scared. What I'm scared of is this. I'm scared that we're gonna get so much Earth backstory. It's gonna be like 40.
What if it was only 25 minutes?
55 minutes of movie, and then we're going to cram Eternia into the last hour and never really have an Eternia battle. Where's Beastman? Where's Fisto? Where's Jiu-Jitsu? Where's Stinkor? Where's
Stinkor? Oh, God knows Stinkor.
all these guys? Where's Trapjaw? I saw Man-at-Arms once. Where's Cyclops? I need all the guys.
They had one of the characters I remember having as a villain or something like that. One of the squishy little, I don't know what the fuck they're called. It's been too long.
Guys. And instead, we're going to waste time on Earth working for Judy and HR. I don't give a fuck about Judy and HR.
Yeah, fuck you, Judy. It's true. Earth and Eternia don't share the same universe. They are different universes. What if they're parallel universes? How about that? Yeah, man. I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping, listen, you don't have to go by full lore here and everything, but I'll say this: aesthetically, they got it going on.
Do you know what this is?
A movie poster, Clint Eastwood, a gun going through some glass. I don't know.
This is America. This
is it, America.
Single most popular character archetype in our culture is not the cop, but rather the loose cannon cop.
Yeah, who don't like a loose cannon?
The one who plays by his own rules. The
rules are made for suckers.
One who is not out to arrest the truly bad guys, but to shoot them. Because,
if you gotta.
Because in the universe of these films and TV shows, due process and oversight just gets in the way. You can't truly defeat evil with those things.
Yeah.
I grew up in the 1980s, so I had films like Cobra with the tagline, "Crime is the disease, meet the cure." You would never think of these as political films. The people who wrote them would not think of them that way. But the message is explicit. The cure to crime is not more cops or better trained cops. And it's definitely not prevention.
Well, listen, when it comes to the fact that, in a lot of these movies and stuff like that, it is the fact that the police themselves are corrupt or won't do anything. And that's the problem. It's not usually the cops are doing a fantastic job and this guy comes in to, muck it up and stuff like that. No, the cops are usually doing a bad job. They're on the take or, any number of things. And he's got to be the guy that comes in and takes out the garbage.
It's giving a guy like this permission to shoot them without a trial. Every kid for the last, 200 years has been immersed in this fantasy from birth. You could go back over a century and find kids reading dime novels about the Old West. And those old Western lawmen were not out to put the bad guys on trial. This archetype, the lawman who shoots first and asks questions later, is as core to our identity as anything else. We have always been in love with this fantasy, and I think we always will be. But it is just a fantasy, and I do not mean in the sense that, I wish there were guys like this.
Sometimes you do, though. You don't want everybody to be the person who goes through and just decides to take everything into their own hands and stuff. But in the right time, in the right scenario and stuff, you want that guy to be there. I'll say that.
I mean, if there were guys like this, it would help the bad guys. And I know there are movies and shows that have engaged with this idea. That's what The Shield was about, that at some point you're just operating as another street gang. That when somebody actually does go rogue and says, well, why should we have to jump through all of these hoops? Why can't I just take care of it?
Let me tell you, when you watch The Shield, you realize that that's like those guys were operating in like little funny gray areas. You know what I'm saying? When they turn on one of those old school ovens and everything, and the element gets red hot and he's smashing a dude's face on it while it catches on fire, I don't think there's a soul in the world that just goes like, he's doing the right thing. I think everybody in the world was going, Jesus Christ.
Directly. That the answer is, it's not the gun that gives you the power to fight crime. It's a society that agrees you have legitimacy. That the government...
Because yeah, when you see others fail, and then there's someone who can come through and actually accomplish, righting these wrongs, even if it is within itself what could be considered a wrong way. There are very often times where people will justify the wrong to rid yourself of a wrong.
Government is not just the most well-armed of the street gangs. That the thing that separates the police, or
that's the best part of Dirty Harry, is like when he's stopping the bank robbery there and he's still eating his hot dog. It's like in the middle
of the federal agents from the bad guys is the oversight. That's what they don't have. It's the fact that he does have to answer to someone, that he does have to answer to the people. It's true that the criminals may be scared of the cop who doesn't answer to anybody and is willing to...
And that's the thing too, is that like, and that's part of the archetype of all of it as well, is that the villains themselves are not people who play by the rules. Very often, those that are in those authority roles and everything are the people that have to play by the rules. You won't do this to me because you're a cop. And in normal cases, that is the thing. And so it is one of those, in order to beat my foe, I must become him kind of thing. And, as long, and we as a society over the years, depending on not even just this country, but society as a whole, have often very said, if you can step your foot over that line, as long as you can kind of come back and just be like, hey, listen, I'm not going to, do that to everybody. But in times of need, that's, there's reasons you need those heroes.
Break the rules, but it's only in the sense that they would be scared of another gang. They are not at all afraid of a system where the police have decided they themselves don't have to obey the law. Because in the real world, the cops who don't play by the rules are the ones who can be bribed or blackmailed.
This is true. This is very true.
In the real world, if you are pro-police, pro-law and order, anti-criminal, then you would hate this guy more than anyone else.
I don't know who that is.
You would hate him more than any of the street criminals you've ever seen. Because he would be undermining the system. He would be making life harder for everyone else who does this job. If the average innocent citizens know that the police are operating with no oversight, that they're operating with...
But see, like you said, it's usually like a lone one. It's a lone wolf that goes over there. It's Dirty Harry. It's the fucking Riggs and Murtaugh, even though, Murtaugh wasn't exactly doing nothing.
Impunity. Then why would they ever cooperate? The fear that they would just shoot you would be too great.
One would think, but apparently not.
Are countries where it's like that. You don't want to live there. This was always just a fantasy.
Right, but that's yeah. I mean, look. At the end of the day, ultimately, you don't want those things to happen, because we would all like to ultimately live a life where we don't have to come across any of these, strife-ridden things. No one needs that. No one wants that. But we would all like to believe that if that situation happened to us, I believe that we would all think and want ourselves to be able to step up to the level that it needs to be in order to survive that, or at least, try to conquer that situation or whatever. I think we would all want that to be there. And so who doesn't want to see a story that would kind of put them in that, like, hey, I am the person that could help make the difference. We all want to make a difference, don't we? Or we should.
In the exact same way that this is a fantasy. This is not a thing that could exist in our world. This only exists if everything else in the world is different. But in the last 10 years or so, one thing I found out is there's a lot of just average, everyday people walking around who genuinely don't seem to understand that.
Well, and there's also a genuine number of people out there who believe themselves to be these rogue people, but they have zero actual, anything. They're just regular old people. And they believe that they themselves are Jack Bauer, but forget that Jack Bauer worked for like CTU. He was this kind of highly trained government official. So, you yourself are not Jack Bauer. You must remember that as well.
Or at least they pretend not to understand it. But it is pretty straightforward. The rules that prevent this guy from going out and just solving all of these problems himself with the barrel of a gun, they don't just exist to prevent him from going out and shooting the bad guys. They also exist to prevent him from going out and shooting you.
Yeah, but again, you also have to, that is also then assuming that person will just go ahead and shoot anybody, but you don't necessarily know that. We make an awful lot of assumptions with what we're talking about here.
Because if the rules and the oversight don't exist, there's no.
They do though. Those things still do exist. That's the part I think you're getting wrong with this, is that those oversight things still do exist. They choose to ignore them. That's the difference. And the other people, it's not like the other criminals by and large are kind of keyed into, oh, Jack Bauer don't fuck around. Like they are in a couple later seasons when, word has finally gotten around who Jack Bauer is. But for the most part, criminals don't go like, well, this guy doesn't play by the rules. They assume that they all play by the rules.
Nothing to stop him from doing that.
I don't know. Alex says, I like Jason, but his political views are so authoritarian left that I sometimes have a hard time listening to his podcast, but it's still the best podcast besides HMP. Well, isn't that sweet? Yeah, Jason has a lot of great takes and so many great movie takes. Like it takes on a lot of things and stuff. So whenever he has a movie one, I may even have one more from him in here before the night is done. And he's putting out some of the most interesting kind of movie breakdowns and stuff, like the Star Wars, like this and everything. So I'm always appreciative of it, and even if I might not always agree, see, I can even, and I knew it was gonna. I'm glad it didn't get further political than I thought it might, and everything. And he was at least vague enough with it. And I think that's the level with which Hollywood needs to start doing those things, is not to be so fucking blunt with it and actually just kind of, dance around with what you're saying. We all understood what Jason was saying. We all understand, what we were talking about, but we didn't have to do it in a way that was cringy and stupid. So, kudos and bravo for that.
Did you know that there are 8 different versions of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
and only one of them's really good? I don't even know if. All right, Jeff, what do you got for us here, buddy? By the way, congratulations to Jeff. Jeff is really kind of killing it and stuff right now. He's Sony's sending him TVs and stuff to review. He's really kicking it out. He's got his book and everything. Jeff's been really killing it. So big giant congratulations to Jeff on all the success that's been going on, man.
You can now watch them at home for the first time ever. Dark Sky Films just came out with their documentary Chain Reactions, and on the Blu-ray you get this great documentary, but you also get 8 versions of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Is it all one of those this one's got 5 seconds, this one's got 6 seconds?
So let me tell you all about them. The first one is a 16mm overscan print of the film. It's 85 minutes long using overscan technology, so it's a little bit wider. You see some stuff you wouldn't see in other cuts. Then
yeah, so overscan technology, essentially what that's saying here is more or less, and I'm taking a guess on this because I don't know about this set or anything, but my guess is that was probably the the full frame of the 16mm. So they probably shot it in open frame 16mm. So then they could probably, which I don't know that they would have been doing a ton of it, especially given their budget and everything. But if they needed to adjust something, they could do that in post. So they just kind of, you got your black bars there on top and bottom. But you were just shot. But it also gives you like less resolution at the exact same time. So when you're doing it with 16 millimeter, you're already taking what's already a fairly grainy and fuzzy picture and then just making it even worse. So, I get it.
There's a 16 millimeter barbecue edition, which they're saying is 84 minutes long and was used for early screenings of the film. Then there's the 35 millimeter grindhouse cut. It's 80 minutes long. Some of the cuts happen due to local laws, censorship, or just theaters not having the full elements. And it's got a really gritty grindhouse feel. Then there's a 1984 Australian VHS transfer, which is pretty authentic to what you would have got back there. It's 85 minutes. It is the full movie, but it has that softness and all the different kind of tracking
for Australia
that a VHS tape would have. There's also the 19.
Why do you give a shit that it's an Australian, like this was there? Okay.
1981 Wizard video VHS cut, which was the US release of the film. It's 84 minutes long and again has that VHS nostalgic feel. One of the really cool ones is the 1987 bootleg Czechoslovakian version.
What?
It's only 69 minutes long.
Yeah.
Due to some censorship, but also just due to the fact that they were gathering whatever elements they could.
They were like, we are taking Franklin out of this film completely. We don't want him in here. The motherfucker just brings everybody down. So we have a Franklin free edit.
And putting it together because they couldn't get an official release of the movie. So it's a true bootleg. For fans of old media, there's also the 1978 Super.
We also got the oscilloscope.
8 millimeter print of the movie. It's only 22 minutes long. This was like the first home video. You could buy these Super 8 prints, play them at your house, but they were often like these super abridged versions of the movie. So it's basically just the big highlights. And then there's a 1980s Slovakian Betamax version, which is 83 minutes long, has some of that Betamax look and feel to it, also has some different cuts.
I tell you, man, horror people are a different breed, brother.
Whole different experience once again. So if you love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, first of all, you should watch this documentary. But if you really love it, the only way to get all those different versions for the first time ever together on a home media disc is by buying the Blu-ray. And to me, as like a film historian, somebody who loves the archival stuff, somebody who wants to see different cuts of a movie, this was super, super impressive that they put all of these out onto this documentary Blu-ray. And I think it's a must-buy for horror movie fans.
1900 hot dog? Is that the... All right, what's next?
I feel like it's getting better since we've talked about it.
Rob Lowe, let me tell you something, kids. If you were like me and you had just kind of a so-so opinion about Rob Lowe, you didn't really know much about the gentleman or anything else like that. You just see another pretty face in Hollywood and all that kind of jazz. I would suggest that you check out Rob Lowe's book. It's really good. I learned a lot about Rob Lowe, a lot about acting, stuff like that. And I want a Matt Dillon book after this because Matt Dillon sounds like one of the most interesting cats that was out there, who was just like too cool for school. He was a little bit older than everybody else, but just like the stories that you hear of this guy, you're just like, who the fuck is this dude?
Rob Lowe is once again speaking facts about the state of film production in California. And while he's more upbeat about the future, he's finally talking about the one big problem that California has to fix.
It's rapid and wild inflation for everything. You guys aren't going to fix that. That's the biggest problem that you have, is that the price for everything that you have is out the ass. So it doesn't matter how much, wild and crazy tax incentives that you offer these crews and everything, when your stuff costs so much more to begin with. If your stuff was cheaper and then you got the tax incentives, then yeah, there's going to be much more, they're going to be much more apt to continue to do business in your state. If these other places offer tax incentives that are a little bit less, but they can do the actual everything else for cheaper, and they might get a smaller one, but everything else is cheaper to begin with, so they're still winning overall. California ain't coming out of this. I don't think ever, maybe.
If we're going to keep production alive in LA.
California, until they do that, they're never going to get any of the big shows back.
I'm Jason Fisher, the founder of Stage Runner and former head of production at Disney, Paramount, and AMC. So back in March, Rob made headlines when he went on the Team Coco podcast and said this.
It's cheaper to bring 100 American people to Ireland than to walk across the lot Right. Fox. Right. Past the sound stages and do it there.
Yep. So they don't care. They don't care. They're telling you they don't care. They don't. Hollywood will die, and the murderer will be in the room the entire time.
Crazy. Do you think if we shot Parks right now, we would be in Budapest? 100% we would be. We'd be in Budapest.
You wouldn't be in Budapest, but you would be. You would be like in Atlanta or something like that. You'd be maybe somewhere in Nashville, maybe in Texas. You wouldn't be in California.
It's criminal what the California and LA have let happen. It's criminal. Everybody.
Yep. In your pursuit of everything, you guys have fucked it all up. Congratulations. You were like the land of opportunity, the place that everyone go where dreams come true, and nobody's dreams come true there anymore. Not really.
Should be fired.
Now, since then, California has increased its tax credit program.
Oh, but again, like I said, you can increase the tax credit program all you want, but if your stuff already costs, 17% more than it would in Vancouver, why would you not go to Vancouver and get that 17% less cost and then have the tax incentives that are 80% as good? You're going to go to Vancouver.
Doubling the fund to $750 million a year. And it now includes independent features, which made it possible for Rob's most recent movie to shoot in LA. That matters because it shows that the incentives work. So over the weekend, while in Sundance
it shows that they'll use them. I don't know that they work.
Promoting this new movie, he spoke to Variety about the state of production in LA.
I think the number one thing that they should do, and I'm not saying this is going to sound incredibly self-serving, but a large part of the budget for tax credits is the above the line.
And this is something as well that Affleck and Damon talked about, which is hilarious that Real Takes didn't talk about this, is the fact that they wanted and they put into their contract here with Netflix and everything that if their movie gets enough of these streams and everything, their actual below the line people and their other folks will all get bonuses. That doesn't happen. But it's happening with people like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are thinking, and they're thinking about their crews and stuff, and that's how Hollywood is going to end up saving itself. See, from the production standpoint, and I'm glad that they're thinking about this because what they're going to do, this is the way that you help to solve these problems. You initially go through and you say, hey, movies are going to cost less. Movies are going to cost less because A, we're going to spend less, and B, your actual take-home pay for things. Settle in, is going to be lower. It's going to be a little bit lower, but the potential for what you have will go up significantly. And especially the bigger film that you work on. The bigger the film that you work on, the more success that you possibly could mean. Would you work on a Marvel film for 20% less than what your normal rate would be if indeed that you could actually share in the profits of that Marvel movie should it reach across, X, Y, and Z target points? I think a lot of people would do that. So you can save a lot of money up front and then pay off that money should things be successful, which would then be a catalyst for them to, I don't know, this is a crazy thought, this is a wild one, but maybe start making good movies again. Movies that people might want to go see, movies that people will pay to watch. It's wild thoughts, I know.
And all of these other territories give you credit for the above the line, and LA doesn't. So until California, until they do that, they're never going to get any of the big shows back.
And he's right. California's incentive still does not include above the line. And this represents around 40% of the budget. Fees for actors.
Yep, all those need to go down. Sorry, actors, you've been swimming in it for way too long and you've had it way too good. You're supposed to be working people. You ain't working people anymore. When you all demand $500,000 to $1 million plus, and it's just not for nothing, but you ain't shit. You ain't shit and you ain't bringing in anybody for your name, not in the year 2026. You need to take what you can take and just get it. And then, and then guess what? Maybe you don't do one acting job a year. Maybe you do 3 or 4. Maybe you just learn to become a good working actor again instead of just, bathing around in riches and stuff like that. Did you get into this career for money, or did you get into it for art? I think a lot of you fuckers got into it for fucking money.
Writers, the director, IP rights. And unless that changes, productions are going to continue to migrate to other states and countries that include these costs. It has to change immediately. Which brings us to the hard question. Where's the leadership on this?
They don't have any because they don't care. But the problem is that you can't find a leader because the leader itself, like within your governor and all of that other shit, they don't care. They don't care. They give you lip service to keep your dumbasses there and paying taxes, exorbitant taxes, some of the most taxes, and getting what in return? Not a better place to shoot a film, that's for damn sure.
It's great that Rob Lowe is speaking out, truly. But where's the other A-list talent and showrunners demanding that productions stay in LA?
Because they don't care. They don't care. They've all made their money. This is the sad part too, is that they don't give a shit because they've already done it. A lot of them have realized, like, hey, listen, I got enough money in the bank. At the end of the day, I ain't got to do nothing. You think James L. Brooks got to do anything? Come on.
Where are the studio heads on this? Don't you guys have a responsibility to the city where your companies are based?
No, because guess what? Those people don't run those things anymore. Shareholders do. George Lucas et al. Warned us about this shit in the 80s and 90s. Nobody listened. And yet those guys, those hippies, are the same ones who allowed all this shit to happen, which is also the most hilarious part of all of it, is they were the ones that were warning us, and they were also the ones that were just like, let it happen.
To the communities we all live in, I haven't heard a single word from Iger, Zaslav, Elizin, Sarandos.
They don't need to. They're making money overseas. They don't give a shit about them. Who cares about Los Angeles, you stinky bunch of hobos?
Not a word on this. You can hide behind fiduciary responsibilities, but
douche.
Is this really the legacy you want to leave behind? This is the moment you got.
No, it is. It is the legacy that you're leaving. Again, Hollywood will be murdered soon, and the killer will be in the house with Hollywood the entire time. In fact, it will be Hollywood itself.
Guys, we have to make these changes
self-immolation
now, or LA will become the next Detroit.
Oh, it's already there. It's already there. It's a piece of garbage. Nobody wants to go there. I'm so glad I got to go when I got to go in 2003. That was so great. That was so great. What a great time just before everything turned into absolute shit.
The real reason why movie trailers spoil the entire plot of the film is very intentional and way more fascinating than you think.
Well, that's where I pause this, as you might imagine. So you guys know how I feel about trailers. For the most part, I try not to watch them. When I talked about the Masters of the Universe thing, that's essentially a teaser trailer, right? It doesn't give you a full thing. It just kind of gives you a feel for what's going on, even though it's fairly long. It gives you enough of a feel of what's going in there. And I don't think I'll ever even watch that trailer again, but I watched it once. I got the feel for the movie. I feel like I know what that movie is kind of trying to sell me and everything. Will it sell me that movie? I'll go and watch it afterwards once it debuts and everything. But I don't think I'm going to go back and watch extra trailers and stuff because I don't need that in my life. And I've had very much success with not watching trailers and going into movies. I did that with Until Dawn, where, people either knew the video game or saw a trailer, and I knew none of those things. I just knew it was from the director of Shazam. So I just went to go watch it. Same thing with Drop. I knew it was Blumhouse, and that was it. It was called Drop. I didn't know it was about cell phones or nothing. I had no bloody clue. So, I don't particularly like trailers because they do all the spoilerific things and stuff like that. I don't need to see the movie before I see the movie. So a lot of times if I'm in a theater that I can't kind of escape or nothing like that, the least I'll do is start closing my eyes and just being like, nope, just not going to watch it. And you try not to, and if it's something I really am curious of watching, I'll even give the little, I'll even close my eyes and just kind of hum to myself a little bit. Look like I've got some sort of condition, but I don't, no condition. My condition is I don't want to be spoiled, man. I don't want to be spoiled.
I feel like every couple of years, this complaint resurfaces where people say that movie trailers are suddenly spoiling the entire film.
Well, they've all listen, there's been time in memoriam. I can point to you trailers from the 50s and 60s and stuff that do much of it, but I can also show you many that only give you the vibiest of vibes.
And that there's no reason to go see it after you've watched it, as if it's this new phenomenon that's constantly happening. It's actually a specific legal reason. See, movie trailers are legally considered marketing, so they're subject to all the same laws that other types of marketing are, including false advertising.
I think that's horseshit. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you my best example for why I think that's horseshit and how it would have been utterly amazing. The movie is Man on the Moon. Man on the Moon starring Jim Carrey, where Jim Carrey plays Andy Kaufman. We remember the big kind of trailers and everything leading up to it. This was Jim Carrey's one of his big dramatic roles here and whatnot. It was something that he was very, very passionate about. We were just ready to see this, and this amazing trailer that looked like it was chronicling all of Andy's life, all of the big giant moments and everything. And it looked utterly amazing. And when the movie came out, it starts with Jim Carrey as Andy Kaufman walking on a black cyclorama. So it's just a black void. He walks into the black void and tells everybody, this is it. And that's the movie. Thank you very much. Just walks off screen. I sat there in that theater going, if this is black for the next 90 minutes, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I hoped so bad in that moment that they shot the most amazing trailer you could ever imagine. We got REM singing a brand new song here and it's going to be amazing. And it's a fucking black screen the entire time. I was like, Andy Kaufman would be so proud of this, that we wasted everyone's time and money. And the internet wasn't so big at that point that you would have heard about it right away. It would have taken a little bit, but that would have been the most amazing thing in the entire world for him to just walk out and say, that's it. You can go home now or whatever. And then just walk off screen. It's blank for 90 minutes. Then he walks up and says, thank you very much, walks off, and then credits. That would have been amazing. Andy Kaufman would have definitely loved that. He would have thought it was amazing. It would have been the best, most amazing troll ever. Still, I knew I was watching something special when I saw Man on the Moon in the theater. And still, it remains a great movie, and I love the movie that it is. But boy, oh boy, would it have been amazing if it was just a giant double bird to everybody. Just going, you thought we made this movie? We just made the trailer. God, it would have been brilliant.
So if, say, a stain removal brand can't actually get the stains out of your clothes, you could sue them for false advertising.
Why the fuck aren't we suing all these burger companies for this bullshit then? Because this is reality, baby. This is reality right here. Why aren't we suing? Class action.
And be legally entitled to a lot of money. And the movie itself is considered the product.
That's my favorite bit of Wayne's World is all the product placement. And it's the choice of a new generation. By the way, if Mountain Dew Zero wants to sponsor me, oh my God, the amount of money we could make, my friends. I'm just saying.
Product that is being marketed, but unlike a stain,
and like all marketing, I'm not loyal to one thing. Dr. Pepper, if you listen, you gave Romeo that song eventually, but you did it. So if she can get that, how about H&P get a Dr. Pepper Zero sponsorship?
Removal product where the results are very literal and concrete.
It's good and nice.
The promises that a movie trailer make are a little bit more vague and in a gray area, and also subject to artistic license. For instance, the 2001 movie Donnie Darko starring Jake Gyllenhaal was a mind-bending psychological thriller about time travel.
Well, it became about time travel in the director's cut.
And string theory and determinism. And when it came out in theaters, it initially completely flopped. And so...
well, nobody knew what the fuck it was about. We were just like, what is this? And Jake Gyllenhaal looking like he's, Fucking deranged.
When it was later released on DVD, they put out a new trailer for it where they recut it to kind of make it seem like it was a horror movie.
Yeah, and it was not. Well, I mean, the original cut was the original cut was more horror movie-esque.
And because of this recut trailer that kind of reframed the whole thing to be a little bit misleading, the movie did very well on home video. But whereas in that situation it worked out very well, this can actually get the studio in a lot of trouble legally. Studios open themselves up to a lot of legal liability if anybody feels like the trailer for a film
Listen, if you're enough of an asshole that you watch a trailer and you're like, this isn't what I said, shut the fuck up. Take your $14 and get out of here. That's what I would do. I'd just refund them the ticket and just be like, shut up, you little bitch. Now pay all these court costs.
represents it in a misleading way that causes them to spend money on something that they didn't want to see. And throughout history, many people have attempted to sue studios for this exact thing. In fact, there was a very high-profile example of this in 2019 where a viewer sued Universal Pictures because the trailer for a movie called Yesterday showed that Ana de Armas was in it. But then she was ultimately cut from.
She was in the trailer for like 2 seconds, and then they cut her scene out, and it's like, these motherfuckers, I will kill you. Where is Ana de Armas? Why is she not in this movie? This is a crime against humanity.
The film, and he was very disappointed when he went.
You know what you do to that guy? You know what you know what his fucking judgment will be? They give him a loaded weapon, and they're just like, you know what to do. just put yourself out of your misery, bud.
Went and saw it in theaters. And though the case did eventually settle.
First of all, you should have just sued because the movie was shite. It was terrible. Man, that movie stunk.
Out of court, the judge did initially rule that the trailer could constitute false advertising because they eventually removed one of the characters.
Dumb. Now, let me tell you something else, though. Sometimes that shit works. Example, Paranormal Activity 3. Paranormal Activity 3 had, that was the one that's back, the one that takes place in the 80s. Right, because we're going backwards in time as the movies progress, except for when we go to 4, but that's a whole nother. But in 3, we're back in the 80s, and one of the things that you did in the 80s, if you were, one of those dirty babies, is you played a little game called Bloody Mary, or at least you were aware of said game, Bloody Mary. And that's when you look in the mirror and you say Bloody Mary 5, 10 times, whatever it is, Biggie Smalls, Biggie Smalls, Biggie Smalls, and then Bloody Mary or whatever would appear, right? So they played with this in the trailer. They showed you, here's this scene and here's the jump scene in there. And when you went to go see the movie, everybody in the theater, you could sense it. You could just fucking sense it in the air. Everyone in the theater had seen the trailer and knew in the trailer where that jump scare was coming. But that was not where the jump scare was in the movie. They changed it. And it was fucking brilliant. It came several beats after where you would have thought you were like, wait a minute. What the hell? That scare wasn't in there. Bam! It was one of those. Fucking brilliant. So you can use it to your advantage.
From the film. And this was seen as a massive change to legal precedent that's still referenced to this day. And because of these threats of lawsuits, movie studios largely are very scared about any kind of legal liability for misrepresentation.
So don't tell them anything. Don't tell them anything. Just leave them a little bit of in space. No one can hear you scream. And then you're like, what the fuck is that even about? I'll go see that.
In their films, and so they go out of their way to make sure that the trailers just explain the whole plot of the film in a very clear way so that they don't get sued. And every year is...
listen, man, take them slings and arrows, and anybody and any judge that would go and hear that and would just go like, yeah, that seems like a good idea. Throw his ass out too.
More and more lawsuits roll in. They just get more and more overt about over-explaining the plot of the film in the
this is why we need frivolous lawsuits and shit like that not to exist. It's ridiculous. What are we doing, people? Just what are we doing? Did you know that, going to the doctor wouldn't be nearly as expensive if we didn't have 8 gajillion malpractice cases that didn't need to be brought? Now, I'm not saying that you should never bring a malpractice case, because there's certain cases that you absolutely should. But there's so many cases of malpractice brought when the person just didn't fucking live, So like when cases like that pile up and up and up, it makes the ones that are actually legit harder to mess with and everything, because you got a pile of these other, not quote unquote not real ones over here just vying for stuff. So listen, man, the world's screwed up. What can I say?
Trailer. So there you have it. Once again, annoying Karens have ruined something for everybody.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Last
rating
one.
movie.
Oh, next to last one. I think we got 2 more.
I watched last week.
All right, Pat's got some new movies for us. The man is watching a lot of stuff all the time. I gotta say, as somebody who goes and creates things and talks a lot about movies and stuff, I don't watch nearly as many movies as I should. Old Pat here watches some fucking movies, so let's see what he's got for us. Oh shit! I'm gonna turn this down because I'm gonna get copy struck for that shit, boy. Gotta keep them up, all right. Satan Wants You, 7.8. Primate's out in theaters, 8 out of 10. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I want to go see a monkey movie. I'm going to be honest with you. I want to see that. There's 4 or 5 films out right now that I'd actually go see. But I'm poor. The Way Back. Oh, is that the one with not what I'm thinking. Sorry Baby, 7.5 out of 10, and I can't read those tiny little fucking Meat Kills, 7.4 out of 10. Missed Opportunity, not calling this Slaughterhouse. That's good. Well, you gotta get through Slaughterhouses 1 through 4 first, I think. Rewatch of Legend, 6.4 out of 10. I've never actually seen Legend, believe it or not. All right, let's volume back up here so we don't have Offspring getting us in trouble here. Putting boyfriend to the test. Let me embiggen my screen here so I can read everything. I think I saw, I wasn't going to put this in here, and I don't know how this video is going to go. But I saw this first bit and I was like, all right, this is a video worth saving. Let's see if it's going to be a video that was worth commentating on. Girls, my boyfriend shouldn't know.
That's Adrienne Barbeau.
That's why I stopped it. I was like, what? Wait. I was like, okay, what?
Are you serious? You know her?
Yeah.
She was in Creep Show and Swamp Thing. She hasn't been in anything since the 80s.
You should know her though with that wreck.
Yeah, whatever. I see why you like her.
Yeah, you do.
Right.
Oh, come on. How do you...
Kirstie Alley.
Are you serious?
What do you mean? How? What are you talking about? She was one of the biggest stars in the 80s.
She was great in 80s comedies.
Motherfucking Cheers. Look who's talking. Come on.
She gained a bunch of weight. She was the face of...
And you got Victoria's Closet, that whole era. Come on, bro. Girl was in it.
Of Weight Watchers. I think
in Star Trek.
She passed away.
Oh.
It's the way he's saying it. She passed away. Thought Joshua Block was in rehab.
Oh, okay. How about this one?
I know the actress. I'm trying to think of her name. I know her so well. I don't want to screw it up. Is it Yvette?
Helen from Drake and Josh. Yep. You watched Drake and Josh as well.
I don't know I'm aware of what Drake and Josh is. I never watched it because I'm 43, not 23 or whatever the fuck these people are.
Oh.
That's actually crazy. All right.
Catwoman.
Yep, I bet you.
I can't even. Oh, what the? Catwoman is that? That's just Catwoman in general. That's not even like a specific Catwoman. That's not like Julie Newmar or nothing. That's just fucking Catwoman.
That's like a comic book figure. It's
Yeah. That's not. It's not like it's just not Michelle Pfeiffer, Anne Hathaway. There's nobody. That's just Catwoman. There's a comic book character.
kind of like this pop cultural Bonnie.
I was about to say that's Joe's wife
from Family Guy.
You're so sick.
You've watched Family Guy compilations with me.
Family Guy compilations.
This is absurd.
All right, last one. Do you know her?
I can't tell what
That's
it is.
like a stock photo of a prostitute.
Clearly a comedy bit, but very, very funny. I like it. Oh, this is good. This is interesting. Simpsons fans, I know we got some Simpsons fans in the house. Let's check it.
Rapper and filmmaker Boots Riley is planning on making a.
That's the guy who did Sorry to Bother You, which if you haven't seen Sorry to Bother You, that's another one. Again, don't watch that trailer. You might want to watch it if you watch the teaser trailer. But like there's like that movie gets to a point where you're just like, what's going on now? I'm sorry, what's happening? That's when I heard a lot of people were just like, I hate this movie. I'm just like, no. That was the part where I'm just going, oh, so anything can happen, huh? Okay, great.
Truly intriguing movie. The Sorry to Bother You director wants to adapt Anne Washburn's off-Broadway play Mr. Burns, a post-electric play. It's a dark comedy set in a post-apocalyptic a post-apocalyptic future where a group of survivors band together around a campfire as they piece together the plot of the Simpsons episode Cape Fear entirely from their memory.
What? That sounds like a Michel Gondry film, like your Please Be Kind Rewind sort of thing. We're stuck on an island, and so now all we got to do is be able to recreate this movie from our memory only. All right, last one of the night here, everybody. We started the show with him. We're ending the show with him. Here's our old buddy, our old pal. I got to say it correctly. Our old pal, CHH. Let's see what he's got for us.
It's the 80s horror movie I can't believe was a flop. I'll give you a hint. It's on my shirt right now.
No, I never learned to read.
Yes, I'm talking about the Monster Squad.
Now, by the way, if you want to get my thoughts on Monster Squad, you can go back through the files of HMP and check that out. We've got an episode on Monster Squad. I feel like I've 100%. We have to have had, right? Am I wrong, Chad? Remind me if we have. I'm fairly certain we've gotten a Monster Squad episode. I'm a little younger than my co-hosts. Monster Squad, for whatever reason, did not cross me as a young child, and I was also a scaredy cat child, so even a thing that was made for children was not a thing that would interest me because I would be scared of that. You remember that movie Little Monsters with Howie Mandel and Fred Savage in it? I wouldn't scare the fucking shit out of me, man. That even like watching that little TV spot was frightening. So, no thank you. So I was not primed to see Monster Squad back in the day.
This movie is such a home run, and it seems like such a home run, yet for some reason it underperformed. I think it was because it was either a PG-13 film or there was just a lot of competition. The good thing is Monster Squad has aged like a fine wine, and this is my favorite Fred Dekker film. I love it. I'm sure a lot of you growing up in the 80s remember this movie, and it might have been one of the only films your parents let you rent at the time.
Okay, thank you, MVD. It's like I'm pretty sure you covered it. I'm pretty sure we did as well. It's one of those things when you're, I don't know. I guess we're like probably close to 700 plus episodes, volume 1 and 2 at this point. So as you might imagine, thanks for lurking there, buddy boy. Appreciate you.
Let me know, how big of a fan of you are the Monster Squad, and when's the last time you watched it? If it's been a while, go for it. The Monster Squad rap is also an amazing song. I love it to death, and you should too.
There it is, everybody. Another TikTok Trash Tuesday in the books here and everything. Want to thank Christian for starting and finishing the show for us and everything. Really appreciate you. And we appreciate you guys for hanging out and lurking and talking and chatting and stuff all night, hitting that like button and all those kind of good things. We really appreciate it, man. It's awesome that we're able to do this show week after week, month after month, year after year over just with HMP and all these kinds of things. And many of you have been along that trip for a very long time, and we appreciate you sticking with us through a format change and everything too. That's a big one. A lot of times if you change talking about stuff, there's a lot of people that run away and just go like, that's not the thing I know anymore. I feel like we give you the same show. We just talk about a different subject every week, and hopefully you guys continue to enjoy that. And if you don't, I mean, certainly I think you'll let us know. That is it, everybody. Again, we are starting next month up with Tom Hanks, man. We are doing Tom Hanks rom-coms, and we are starting at the top with Splash from 1984, directed by one little Ronnie Howard. So we'll be talking about that come Sunday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. So again, thank you for hanging out, hitting that like and subscribe button, all of those fun things, and shit. And we'll see you guys all next week or Sunday. See you Sunday. This Sunday, 8 p.m. Whenever the Super Bowl is, we're going to do that show on a Friday, or excuse me, on a Saturday as opposed to a Sunday. We can all watch the Super Bowl and stuff like that because it's an American tradition. We'll change it for the Super Bowl, but not for the Oscars. That's it, everybody. See you next week.